cracked down on disruptive campus protests in a variety of ways, accusing pro-Palestinian protesters of supporting Hamas. The U.S. Supreme Court delivers a blow to religious charter schools.
It was a 4-4 tie on the question of whether a religious school could receive public funding. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett did not participate in the case, meaning the Oklahoma Supreme Court's ruling against the plan to create the nation's first religious charter school will remain in place.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. And a federal judge in Boston blocks an effort to shut down the U.S. Education Department, also ordering mass firings to be reversed. America is listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Rain possibilities for the 500. Rain is more than possible this afternoon. It is happening in the southern part of the Indy Metro in Johnson and Morgan County. Sprinkles and showers. It's 55 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Rain for the 500? Well, it is still possible.
But first, Friday and Saturday will be days with lots of sunshine and dry weather, says Mike Ryan at the National Weather Service in Indianapolis.
For Sunday, there is a system that's going to bring some showers, and as it stands right now, the trends have been that is going to track south of Indianapolis.
He says you can also expect temperatures to be in the 60s on Sunday. Ryan recommends wearing pants and a jacket if you're heading out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
A Hoosier congressman says President Trump's budget is the strongest in a generation for jobs, families, and the economy. Ryan Hedrick reports on the House vote.
On this vote, the yeas are 215, the nays are 214. The bill is passed.
That's Speaker Mike Johnson dropping the gavel on a House vote Thursday morning. Congressman Rudy Yakum says the bill delivers for Hoosiers and for Trump's priorities.
No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, additional deductions for seniors.
And he says the bill also supports the middle class goals that Trump campaigned on.
And that, frankly, I ran on, the commitments I made to Hoosiers.
And the bill now heads to the Senate where leaders say there'll be some changes. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A fatal crash on I-65 southbound north of Lebanon this morning about 9. State police have not confirmed the name of the person killed, but say at least 2 semis were involved in the wreck. In Columbus, police are identifying a 43-year-old man they caught Tuesday night when he led them on a 2-mile chase through the city. Police believe Jeremy Van Antwerp was tossing drugs out the window during the chase. When he was caught, he still had meth on him, though. Police say he had been in and out of jail on drug charges.
Jim was one of the most compassionate people that I have ever known.
Former Colts head coach Tony Dungy on his former boss, Jim Irsay.
He did so many things behind the scenes for not only our players and our staff, but for the city and for individuals that people would never even hear about.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strict.
Afternoon traffic on 93 WIBC with Matt Bear.
What's happening, Chris? Looking at eastbound 465 slow from Allisonville Road over to 75th. Northbound 65 a little bit tight from Raymond Street up to the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance on brands like GE Profile, Cafe, and more during the locked-in pricing sale at Grand Appliance. Visit grandappliancetoday.com or your local Grand Today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy and cool for the day today with a few spotty showers. It's also going to be breezy. Highs only near 60, down to 44 degrees tonight under partly cloudy skies. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on The Level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
Hammer, I gotta admit, I was stunned when you texted me the news that Colts owner Jim Irsay was dead at the age of 65 yesterday. I know, obviously he's had health issues before. His physical appearance had changed, but I was still shocked. And this was right before the Colts, the Pacers and the Knicks playoff game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And I when you texted me that, I was like, just what? What is going on? Wow.
Because I first saw it right when the Indianapolis Colts put the tweet out. Like, I was on my phone. I was at a concert yesterday and was looking down at my phone, waiting for things to start, and I saw that tweet just appear on my timeline, and I had to double check to make sure it wasn't some sort of parody account, something like that.
Oh, I double checked for sure. I clicked on it and was, clicking around and making sure this was accurate. And I couldn't believe it. 65 is a relatively young age. Again, I know Jim had his health issues and his physical appearance had changed. We don't know why he passed away. We don't have any of those details. But what a loss to the sports community and his family.
One of the most influential people who have ever lived in the state of Indiana.
I think so.
Was he a president? No. Was he a vice president? No. But when you look at what he has brought to the capital city of Indianapolis, from his old man to himself, and then building basically part of the skyline here. So this is a big loss for the city of Indianapolis. And we're going to cover all angles of this, right? Because Jim Irsay was a guy that certainly had his demons. Let's not act like he didn't. He was very out there with it. But also one of the most influential people who have ever been in the city of Indianapolis. Started as a ball boy for his dad when his dad was the owner of the then Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, it's not like he was just handed the franchise out of nowhere. He worked for it.
The old man, who was a little on the surly side, made him work his way up through the food chain, if you will, from the ball boy to some of the lower end jobs. And then when they came to Indianapolis, Jim Irsay became the youngest general manager in the league. I think he was 25 years old at that point. And then back when his old man stepped aside and eventually passed away, Jim Irsay became one of the youngest owners in the NFL. And we were talking in the back, Nige, it's kind of weird when you talk about Jim Irsay, because on one hand, he's the eccentric billionaire because he's got Jerry Garcia guitars in his Colts office. He goes on tour, and plays music with Kenny Wayne Shepherd and some of these Grammy winners.
You call it eccentric? I call it pretty cool.
On the other hand, he's kind of relatable, right? I don't know how many billionaires are relatable. Spoiler, I'm not friends with a lot of billionaires, but he goes on Twitter and he rips people. He's going out to training camp and, he's smoking heaters and he's giving away $100 bills. and
he loved the fans. I think the fans loved him. He loved his constituency, if you will. That's what I feel about him. Whenever I would see him, in and around the fans, he was very accessible.
Yes. I think he liked it too. I think he liked being liked, if that makes sense.
Who doesn't?
Right. Because some of these owners, right? Are you ever going to see Jerry Jones pulling up to the Cowboys training camp, ripping another owner, smoking a heater, passing out $100 bills, doing wacky contests on Twitter? That's not what Jerry Jones does. But that's what Jim Irsay did. And that's what made him endearing to some people. And to others, his other vices made him a villain to some, if you will. Maybe villain's too hard of a word, but...
Well, they made him human.
Yes, for sure.
And he had his Kicking the Stigma organization, bringing mental health to the forefront, not being afraid to talk about mental health. And I find that amazing. I find that endearing.
Right. Made it okay to talk about mental health, which I think is important. He had been dealing with some health issues He was treated for a severe respiratory illness January of 2024.
Yeah, I remember that,
And in March of last year, said he was doing well after his 26th surgery in 7 years. 26 surgeries.
So that just tells me something. I had no idea. Zero idea as to his health issues. Nobody said anything to me. Again, we know his past and his addictions and things like that, but I have no idea what happened. His physical appearance definitely changed.
He was only 65, but man, it was a rough 65. He did some living, right, to put it mildly. Jim Irsay did some living. That interview he did with HBO's Real Sports a couple of years ago.
Remember that, yeah.
Talks about basically, almost dying at one point to where the first responders were this close to filling out the death certificate.
But he didn't run from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
He admitted all of it. Well, I think there was at one point where he said something about targeting millionaires or billionaires or something like that.
When he got popped for that DUI or whatever it was considered.
That was interesting. But look, he lived. I think, he was accessible. He was a fan favorite, and people on some level, I think, identified with him.
Right. His daughters are now running the team, and it seems like they've had this kind of plan in place for a number of years now. Carly, Irsay, Gordon, Casey Foyt, and Kaylin Jackson. Looks like Carly probably going to be the one that's calling the shots. Now, they're all going to be owner, but it seems like the one that's been doing the most football stuff, I believe, is Carly. And then the other daughters will focus on other things. I believe Kaylin is more into the charity, kicking the stigma angle. Casey working on some things behind the scenes.
I certainly hope they don't have any plans to move the franchise.
I don't think so. If you look at
That'd
these
be very surprising
daughters, they all live in Indy. It's not like one lives in L.A.
True.
or one lives in Miami.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
They all live in Indy. Peyton Manning put out a statement, quote, "I'm heartbroken to hear about Jim Irsay's passing. He was an incredibly generous and passionate owner, and I will always be indebted to him for giving me my start in the NFL. His love for the Colts and the city of Indianapolis was unmatched. His impact on the players who played for him will not be forgotten. My thoughts and prayers are with his family and everyone in the Colts community. He will be missed. Jim, rest in peace, my friend." Number 18. It was a statement from Peyton Manning. That news came out, Nige, yesterday, literally like an hour before tip-off of what was going to be an amazing Indiana Pacers game against the New York Knicks.
And I stayed up for all of it. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
I was the only one awake in my house.
That's how good the game was. Nigel stayed up for it last night. What an ending. My goodness. If you haven't heard the Pacer Radio Network, Mark Boyle on the call of that last-second Halliburton shot. They thought it was a three at first, but his foot was on the line.
If it was a three, they would have won the game.
Straight up.
Right there, without going into overtime.
But this was the call of Mark Boyle on that big shot by Halliburton at the end of regulation.
2-point game, 6 seconds to go. Halliburton driving. He's in the lane. He nearly lost it. He backs up and unloads a three. Oh! That did not happen. It hit the back of the rim. It popped high into the air, and it dropped gently through the net.
And that ultimately forced overtime.
Yeah.
And the Pacers won it in overtime.
You have to imagine, I know you were watching the AC/DC concert, but I was watching the game with my son for the first 2 hours on the couch downstairs, and we went up to his bedroom because I knew he had school this morning, and he's got a TV in his room. So I knew he'd fall asleep. So I'm sitting there. He's dead asleep. He fell asleep. And, it's almost 11 o'clock, and I'm watching this, and I'm going...
Trying to keep
quiet. Everybody else in my house is asleep. I'm in my son's bedroom watching his TV because for some reason, I didn't go back downstairs, and I'm just...
You got to let it go. You got to wake the kid up at that point, man. You got to wake the kid up.
I should have woken him up and said, hey, we're in overtime, bud. But that is something, that's one of the greatest comebacks. One of the biggest choke jobs I've ever seen in my life.
And the fact that it was the Knicks.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. Oh, the fact that it was the Knicks. It doesn't get any better than that. And now get greedy. Don't just settle for one game on the road. Go for that second one like they did with Cleveland. Get greedy. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Inbound 65, stop and go traffic 21st to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slow from Harding Street into the South Split. And northbound 65 slows into the South Split from Raymond. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Secure low prices on brands like GE Profile, Cafe, and more during the locked-in pricing sale at Grand Appliance. Visit grandappliance.com or your local Grand today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
A couple notes on that game last night. The Pacers' 23 points are the most in the final 3 minutes and 14 seconds in regulation of a playoff game in the modern NBA era. They started keeping this stat in 1996.
Wow.
The Pacers' 23 points in the final 3:14, a modern day record. Pacers now 30-3 this season.
Incredible.
When Halliburton scores over 20. Pacers 5-1 on the road in the playoffs. And man, Aaron Nesmith was a grown-ass man last night. What a fourth quarter by Nesmith. Game 2 coming up tomorrow night. Carb night here in Indy, back in the Garden in New York. 55 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Throughout the show, we'll talk about Jim Irsay, the good, the bad, the legacy, what's next. We'll cover all of those angles throughout the show today. But up next, Nigel mentioned it a little bit earlier. I'll give you my recap of AC/DC down in Nashville last night. That is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Hammer here for my friends at Diamonds Direct. Keystone at the Crossing. It's right up there by that green bridge. It is graduation season, right? So if you're looking for that home run gift for the graduate in your house, you can't go wrong by shopping around at Diamonds Direct, because they've got something for every budget. You don't need to have 17 zeros in your bank account to get something from Diamonds Direct. The biggest selection, the lowest prices, the amazing sales team. They will work with you on a price that can work for your budget. I know because I'm a customer. Neves, the manager there, he's awesome. My girl, Chris, she's one of the awesome sales team members that can take care of you. Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing, the spot for your graduate. Tell them Hammer from Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 62225. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
At Hendrix,
your cancer care is in the details.
You have questions, and our dedicated clinicians and expert oncologists will answer them.
You have hills to climb,
and we are going to climb them.
You have dreams, and we're here to help you chase them.
You have cancer, and you have all the expertise,
the determination, and the kindness of the entire Hendrix team.
Backed by Mayo Clinic expertise.
It's not just cancer care.
It's Teresa Care. Visit hendrix.org/cancer.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Spring is here, and Dammons is full speed ahead with endless plant production of perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, roses, and planters. Trucks are arriving with fresh trees and shrubs. Dammons' friendly staff is ready to assist you and get you the help you need. So for any of your gardening needs, experience Dammons South on Emerson Avenue and Dammons West on Rockville Road.
Dammons Lawn and Garden, Indiana's most complete garden center.
The Memorial Day sale is on at Sundown Gardens in Westfield. 20% off container trees and shrubs, 30% off pottery. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundownGardens.com.
Heat and cool places where ductwork won't fit using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits. You can even wrap them to match your decor.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American standard Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits dealer.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, man, I'm absolutely jealous as hell that you got to go see AC/DC with your son in Nashville last night. One of my favorite rock bands of all time. I was introduced to them as a boy by my old man, and those guys are in their 70s. So tell me about the show last night in Nashville, and do they still have it?
To answer the question, yes, still got it. Now, when you first see these dudes, like when they come on the stage, you're like, oh my God, these guys look like they belong in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Like they're old. Angus is a little dude.
Angus, the guitar player, you see like paparazzi photos of him out on the sidewalk just walking around like a normal guy. You would think he was lost. And
right.
They're leading him back into the nursing home. Yeah.
Like in years past, he'd wear that schoolboy outfit with the shorts and the tie and the hat, and it was rock. Now you're thinking, is he just old and that's what he wants to wear? But then they come out, and for 2.5 hours, it's energy, and these old dudes melt your face off. Like Brian Johnson, the front man now of AC/DC. He's pretty ripped. He's got the sleeveless kind of Pat McAfee-like shirt on, and he's out there doing his old man dances. And we'll do one to the YouTube camera here, where he's got that little scowl on his face.
Dude, he's 77 years old.
Yeah.
How'd he sound? How was his voice?
Great. I know he's had some hearing issues in the past, right?
Yes.
And that's why he's missed some shows.
That's why Axl Rose filled in for them on a tour.
Sounded great last night. Guitars were on point. And again, these old dudes made me feel bad about myself, because Angus is up there. And again, he comes out in the school kid outfit. By the end of the show, he's sweaty. He looks like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, the white hair, just a ripped T-shirt, and he's just shredding. Like a 20-minute face-melting solo right before the encore, and that crowd ate it up. It was hit after hit, man. The only song I didn't hear that I would have liked to have heard was Long Way to the Top. Didn't hear that. Probably didn't have a bagpipe player handy on a one-day notice.
Yeah.
But everything else, man, just hit parade.
Angus is 70, and Brian Johnson, the lead singer, is 77. And those songs are hard to sing in that upper register.
Yeah.
That rock and roll voice.
And I sent you some videos, and I posted some on my personal page.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the Highway to Hell stuff you sent me was incredible. I got chills watching that last night during the game.
And the crowd was so diverse, man. There were older folks there, right? I'd say, boomer generation. Then you got Gen Xers like me.
Yeah.
My son, who's 20, there were kids younger than him there. And it was wild. Like, just sitting in our row alone, there was like an old rowdy dude that was smoking weed. There was like a hot mom. There was like a young kid. I mean, it was kind of diverse. So because that show was delayed one night due to massive tornado outbreak, we had to hit home right afterwards, though.
Oh, man.
So we left Nashville. Keep in mind, Nashville is an hour behind Indianapolis on Central Time. So we left the hotel room after checking out, getting our car, probably about 12:30, which is 1:30 Indy time. I'm not proud of this. We may have been pushing nearly 100 miles per hour at some points of that trip home. There was nobody out, so it was beautiful. I mean, we were hauling some ass, man. We made it back in good time, made a little pit stop at the Bowling Green, Kentucky White Castle, and pulled it off, got back home this morning around 5:30-ish, and rock and roll, man.
I am jealous. That is an awesome experience for you and Chris. And I've never seen those guys in concert. Probably never will. I know they're playing Wrigley Field the night before the Indy 500.
Are they at Wrigley or are they at Soldier?
Oh.
They're in Chicago this Saturday.
Soldier. It might be Soldier Field.
I think it's Soldier Field, yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, man, I'm glad they were able to squeeze the concert in next day and not postpone it or cancel it because of that storm.
They're not coming anywhere else near Indy, so
Cleveland
maybe.
was on the schedule. I don't know if they've had that show or not yet, but and the opening act, I had no idea who these people were. A band called The Pretty Reckless. They were pretty good.
The Pretty Reckless.
The Pretty Reckless. The lead singer chick was the little girl that was Cindy Lou Who in the Grinch movie. Taylor Momsen. Yeah.
Shut up. What's her name?
Taylor Momsen. And she is awesome. I mean, she's hot. She owns the stage. She's got a great voice. She was working the crowd.
I'm looking at images of her as a grown woman, and I can see it, that she played Cindy Lou Who.
Yeah, she was. She put on a show, man. She had a great band, perfect opening act, and yeah, we were entertained by that.
Were you checking your phone the whole time with the Pacer game? Like, did you know what was going on towards the end?
So my phone was blowing up all night.
Yeah, I bet.
Because we were talking Irsay stuff. Like, all right, what are we going to do in the show tomorrow? Then the Pacer game started, and like it was the perfect storm of everything. Just a wild night, and would not change a thing. So it was good times. So thanks to Jeff Boggs for filling in last couple of days. All right, this is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
American Standard Heating and Air, they are built to a higher standard. I don't know why you'd use anybody else. That's all I use. All American Standard equipment, American Standard dealers. In fact, here is my man Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome local independent American Standard dealers here in Central Indy.
B&W HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. They do it all. Join B&W's Premier Club today. Premier Club members, you receive routine maintenance, priority scheduling, exclusive discounts. It's worth it. Become a Premier Club member today. 317-214-0108. That's 214-0108, or go online, bplusw.com. Ask about becoming a Premier Club member. I'm telling you, money well spent. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why a little girl had to suffer. You've got some showers and sprinkles. No thunderstorms, but a 40% chance that you could see more rain this afternoon. It's mostly south of Indianapolis. Right now, it's 55. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. Murder and child neglect charges against a man after police say he killed his daughter. But that's not all. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Zara Arnold was just 5 years old and went through things that nobody should ever have to experience.
What is alleged is that this child had to suffer a great deal before ultimately she passed away.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears, speaking to the press Thursday, says Indy police found Zara on Monday covered in bruises. Her father, Zachary Arnold, arrested. Court documents say that DCS visited the home at least 7 times. Arnold's ex-girlfriend also charged for covering crimes up. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
One of the people charged with killing 2 Israeli embassy staff members Wednesday night is from Chicago. The feds are tossing his place right now. Fox's David Spunt reporting from the Capitol Jewish Museum in D.C.
Elias Rodriguez is the suspect. He's the Chicago man. He's been in custody since late last night. Authorities with the FBI began talking to him in the middle of the night. We are told that he has been talkative. They're also going through some writings they believe belong to him, though they are not calling them a manifesto at this time.
The MAHA report is out. That's Make America Healthy Again. Here's Peter Ducey.
It lays out the roadmap that RFK Jr. thinks federal agencies can use to reduce chronic childhood illnesses in this country. And the top of the list of problems is a poor diet. This report found that up to 70% of food that most children consume contains ultra-processed ingredients. Going through the other main bullet points of this report, chemical exposures are a concern, with the authors ordering a study on pesticides by next year, a lack of physical activity and chronic stress, basically kids playing less outside and more on their screens inside, and then over-medicalization, they say. The authors think kids in this country are being over-prescribed drugs they don't need.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
There sure are a lot of memories in that house. It's where you celebrated years of anniversaries and birthdays, where you watched the kids grow, where you relaxed in your retirement. You love it right down to the scuff on the dining room floor and that sticky window in the bedroom. But now the stairs are getting harder, the lawn, the cleaning, the repairs, it's just too much to keep up. And you know it's probably time to downsize. But the thought of getting the house ready to sell is overwhelming. It's time to learn about Simple Quarters. They'll buy your house as is. No repairs, no worries. They handle everything. You take what you want and you leave the rest. They're a Christian company, so they understand the emotional ties, and they'll be respectful of your memories and feelings as they help you simplify your life. If you're considering downsizing and want a hassle-free way to sell your home, call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME, or go to simplequarters.com.
Afternoon traffic on 93 WIBC with Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, on the north side, eastbound 465, now stop and go traffic from Keystone Avenue over to the White River, and inbound 65 now delayed 5 minutes, MLK to Meridian Penn. 5-minute delay on eastbound 70 from Tibbs Avenue into the south split, and south side eastbound 465 stop and go after 31 into I-65. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy and cool for the day today with a few spotty showers. It's also going to be breezy. Highs only near 60, down to 44 degrees tonight under partly cloudy skies. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
When the news broke that Colts owner Jim Irsay had passed away, the first person I thought of to share a perspective is somebody that used to work in this building for a long time. And Nigel, somebody that's been a friend to you and I for a while,
yes.
Supported our show when they let this little nickel and dime pony show go to afternoon drive. Former Indianapolis Colts player, media giant, and damn fine American, Big Joe Stasiak.
Woo, Big
Joe, how are you?
Wow, gentlemen, thank you very much. Hey, I'm doing great, thank you.
It's been a little bit since we've had a conversation, man, but you were the first person I thought of to share a couple different angles on Jim Irsay. Because as a player, you know, the Irsay family, they were the owners when you were working as an employee on the field. But then as a broadcaster and doing some other things on the side here, you had a chance to see a different perspective. So let's start with the NFL owner, Jim Irsay. What was that like?
Yeah, about 30 years I've worked for the organization in one capacity or another.
Wow.
And I would say Jim as an owner, take it in two different parts. I think when Bob, you know, when Jimmy I had so much respect for because of the way he came into the league and came into his ownership. He was a ball boy. You know, he did all the dirty jobs. He did everything within the organization on the way up to being an owner. So he understood all those levels. He also had a father who, you know, had his issues and had some embarrassing moments and, you know, embarrassing moments within the NFL also, and probably wasn't liked by a whole lot of the owners. Or I shouldn't say a whole lot. I'm speculating here, but you know, when you're kind of odd like that and you have your own way of doing things or your own mindset, you rub some owners the wrong way. So I know Jim at that point wanted to be different than his dad as an owner. And I think when he got into the league or he took over the ownership, and as a young man too, I thought he was one of the best because his heart was in the right place, his mind was in the right place. He wanted to win football games. He wanted to win a championship. And I specifically remember one game, and I was trying to think about this last night, if we were on the road or we were at home, because we're always in a hotel room the night before, but we had our team meeting, and I remember Coach was up there talking to us, Ted was talking to us, and he said, you know, Jim wants to say something to the team. So he had recently taken over the team, but I think he wanted to let us know as players where he stood with the organization and what he wanted out of it. And he came into the room, and, you know, it's pretty laid back at that time. You know, you just had some dinner, you're getting ready to go to bed, not games next night. And he got behind the podium in the little conference room there in the hotel and gave one of the most inspirational speeches that I had ever heard. Off the cuff, not stammering, not anything, very heartfelt. And he basically just explained to all of us in the room what the horseshoe meant to him. And after that, he handed out a bunch of these little metal horseshoes so that each one of us had something tangible then. And, you know, as grown men and getting something like that and hearing from the owner, you know, his vision for the team and what he wanted and winning meant everything. That was something pretty cool because you didn't run into the owner a lot. You know, you'd see him at practice or whatever, but there wasn't time to talk. You didn't get to know him unless you were an upper echelon player kind of a thing. And so I thought it meant a lot. And I thought he was a fabulous owner at that point. I think he did want to win at all cost. Unfortunately, once he did get the championship and he did get the win, I don't think that became as important. And so, you know, as you're paying your money for season tickets and, you know, you got all this other stuff going on just recently, and this is the other end of things. Team's not doing well at the end of the year, and Touchdown Town's closed down. They just called it off and didn't do it anymore. It's like, well, why is that? It's like, well, nobody's coming anyway, so why put the money into that? So Jim took all that money and took all the resources and put it into his traveling band.
Right.
Well, to me, you don't do that. I mean, you're either a football owner or you're in the entertainment business. And to me, he lost the fire and the will to win another championship because he already had one, and he was off to other endeavors, which included music, which included putting on free shows. And if you're for that thing, that's fine, but I wouldn't want my season ticket money going for something like that.
So, okay, that's interesting. What an interesting perspective. In terms of being an owner, I would use the word eccentric. Would that be appropriate? Yes. And I'm not talking about eccentric like in a weird way, like Al Davis of the Raiders. I think he was endearing to the fans, but in several different ways, charitable contributions, interacting with fans on Twitter, on social media. But from that perspective, he was an interesting owner, right?
Absolutely, and that was one of the things that was somewhat cringeworthy, because I think you have to take that, Nigel, and separate that a little bit as Jim Irsay the man and Jim Irsay the owner, and I think that's, you know, when you think of it from a business perspective, is it really smart to have the owner of the company, of this billion-dollar company, out there handing out $100 bills at camp, doing wacky Twitter things? You know, I don't know. That to me, that's something else for someone in your organization to do. I think you should be at a little bit higher level than that, and you should really take where you are, your you know, how you're looked at in society a little bit less freelance, I guess. He loved people. He loved being around people, and he was always
accessible.
Yeah, to a fault, you know. And it was sometimes being accessible to some people he should not have been accessible to, but still carrying out those friendships. And that's one thing I will say about Jim, and that's Jim as the person. He's about as genuine and as giving as you ever want to meet. I mean, he would, you know, the giving of his airplane, you know, to go fly a dog that was misplaced during a hurricane. You know, I mean, just. But again, it goes to the eccentricity that you're talking about, that those kinds of things are all good. Some of the other things I think were probably beyond. You probably should have been something the owner was doing. It just kind of gives a bad look. And then when you take it to the other extreme, the amount of money that the team is worth and what he's making and what you're making off the taxpayer and everything, you know, you're going into tough times, and yet here's this guy, you know, throwing out $100 bills. It just really is a bad look, and something that I know he liked to be around the people and everything, and he got something from it. But to me, that's not the way I would have approached it.
The thing that Nigel and I have been talking about is that we're never going to know what it's like to be a billionaire, most likely, right? We don't know billionaires. We don't hang out with billionaires. If there's ever such a thing, though, as a relatable billionaire, was it Jim Irsay? Because as you mentioned earlier, Joe, he came up from being this ball boy, working his way up through the ranks. And I think in his mind, he always viewed himself as that. And that's why he was like this Willy Wonka-like character, right? Hey, look at this money. I'm going to give some to you guys at training camp. And we're going to do wacky Twitter contests. And I'm going to be giving hot takes on Twitter. I'm just like you. Does that make sense that he was trying to be the relatable billionaire?
100%. And I think, and at that point, I think it gets a little confusing because, you know, how am I supposed to act? Because these other billionaires I'm rubbing elbows with are stuffed coat left-wing crazy nuts, you know, and I still, you know, am somebody that appreciates the people and, you know, understands where the people come from and the hard work involved and that kind of a thing. So I think you kind of get two different messages and it's probably kind of hard to relate. And then I think the older he got, I think you could actually see it in some of the ways that he was conducted business and everything. I think he became a fan and maybe I think he still thought of himself as a normal person, but he loved being around the players, and I won't say every player because I don't think he treated every player the same. I know people that have been with the organization for 30 years that got fired when DEI got implemented. But I also know that, boy, he loved being around Peyton Manning, Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, and, the rest of those groups. So I think he was starstruck. I think being around all these musicians and everything was something that was cool for him. I think he probably never thought of himself really on that level. And so that was kind of a cool thing to be able to do. So that was still the regular guy. But then, with that paycheck or, with the bank account he's got and he can, write checks, then he was also in that other seat. The gold seat with, casting money and being Oprah Winfrey with everybody giving away stuff. So I think it was probably a hard thing to adjust to be honest with you.
Big Joe Stasiak joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Big Joe, how the hell are you doing, buddy?
Doing great. You know what? With doors closed, things open, and got a couple of different companies. I had a printing company I started on my own back in 2005. Will Wolford and I got together, and we said, what are we going to do when we're done playing? And he started this printing company, and then I ended up going off on my own in 2005, and it's going well. I'm getting ready to hit $1 million in sales, which is kind of cool.
Right on.
And then
are you going to start passing out $100 bills to your friends like Irsay, Joe?
Yeah. No, my profit margin is about 10%. I do a lot of printing for nonprofits and things like that because, to be honest with you, I've got my pension coming. We saved our money and everything, so money isn't the biggest thing. Being out there and just doing something good has been more important to me. Between that and then still, doing the endorsements, Quality Supply and Tool, the American Standard dealers, a couple of companies that, have stood by me through all the lies and the BS that has been told and the stories that lies that are out there. They threw me with me through all that, and it's been great because now American Standard dealers and Duncan Supply, the company has moved over into Ohio and is taking over territories over there as the distributors for the American Standard product, and of course that's my home state. So it's been nice to get back there and be able to work, through the Midwest and continue to do things, and then I'm in the workshop. I've got a wood shop. Have always loved to work with wood and things. I got a laser engraver, and I just started going to town a few years ago, and now I make things that go in Dave Wilson's Christmas store.
Over there in Speedway, sure.
Yeah. Right there in Speedway, and he's doing great business now. It's going really well. If you've not been,
Joe, you were breaking up there just a little bit, man. I just want to say. We miss you, man. We miss you, and I really this interview was compelling, and it was an open, honest interview, and I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, guys, and it's always will be. It's the way I've always done it, and never will go away from that. And I tell you what, the number of times I've run into people on the street that say, man, sure miss you on the radio. I tell them thank you very much, but that was a different time, and life moves on, and we get ready for our next chapter in life, and that is preparing for death. And I guess that's what the interview today is kind of about. Make sure you're living your life the right way.
You could tell those people to listen to Hammer and Nigel. It wouldn't kill you, Joe. Jesus.
They already are. You're already number one.
Yeah. There we go.
You're already number one. What more do you want? I endorse your program. What the hell?
Big Joe, you're the best, brother. Be good. Tell the fam we said hello.
Love you guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings did such a killer job on my old, cracked, uneven, stained, unmaintained garage floor. My Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. They did such a good job. I just had them back a few weeks ago. They went down into my basement, my utility room, and gave that whole thing a brand new coating as well. Looks fantastic. So they can do your garage and or your basement like they did mine. They can do your pool deck, any indoor, outdoor area concrete. Check out their website. Check out pictures. Get a quote. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com. That's who I use. Give them a call, 751-9070.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Hendricks County Fairgrounds in Danville. The best dealers in the region. Hundreds of tables. Just $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hendricks County Fairgrounds in Danville. For more info, visit CentralIndianaGunShows.com.
Have you seen all the patio furniture at Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Check the specials on all of our patio furniture just in time for Memorial Day. Like all-weather wicker, Berlin Gardens poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more. We specialize in excellent quality, mid-priced patio furniture that's in stock at our 37,000 square foot warehouse. All sale priced at 30% off. You can even choose your own custom cushions on most sets. Get ready for Memorial Day. Come see our wide selection of hanging baskets, bedding plants, perennials, and much more. With so many colors and varieties, it's the best-looking selection you'll find anywhere. Looking for a new grill? See our full selection of Weber, Traeger, and the Big Green Egg. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers. Online at sullivanhardware.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Carb Day starts at Just Add Water Boats on South Franklin. We're going to be there from 6 to 9 a.m. Check out the huge selection of new and used boats and wave runners, snacks and drinks, plus accessory giveaways, including tubes and life jackets. Join us at Just Add Water Boats this Friday at 6 a.m. as we kick off Carb Day.
I gave it a shot, and I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
I'm a proud owner of B Window.
I'm a proud B Window owner.
I'm a proud B Window owner.
When you work with a local, employee-owned home improvement company like B Window, quality comes first because your home improvements are a reflection of our business. And for a limited time, we're extending our employee discount to you, up to 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust local, trust employee-owned, trust your home to be.
Trust me. It's the Bash Sale, the biggest automotive sale in history. Your local Bill Estes dealerships are coming in hot with deals on trucks you don't want to miss. We have a huge selection of trucks at one easy online stop. Brand new Chevy, Ford, GMC, Jeep, Ram, and Toyota trucks with a massive pre-owned selection too. Plus, our fair and direct upfront pricing means what you see is what you pay. Shift into savings during the Bash Sale, only at Bill Estes dealerships, and drive away in your dream truck today. Online at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Heat and cool your man cave, attic, garage, or bonus room without adding ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits.
To find out more, just go to absolutecomfort.org.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tamara and Nigel to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to 93 WIBC this Sunday for the 109th running of the Indy 500 and ride the wave of tradition, pride, and pure adrenaline, where drivers push limits and every second counts.
All right, Matt Baer, what's going on, man?
Northbound 465, stop and go 86th Street up to 865. 5-minute delay inbound 65 MLK to Meridian Penn. And eastbound 70 on a 6-minute delay from Tibbs into the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's 56 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Went a little long with our pal Big Joe right there, but
okay.
He had some interesting perspectives on the passing of Jim Irsay, his life, the good, the bad, everything in between. If you'd like to hear that conversation, we'll have Allison put that up on the podcast page a little bit later on at WIBC.com. It is the biggest story in Indy today. Jim Irsay passing away at the age of 65. We'll touch on that. Plus, we got some fun stuff lined up too. You guys know how we get down.
Come on.
Don't go anywhere. We got the news coming up. More Hammer and Nigel next.
Mark Dietel, the only local real estate agent I would trust to sell my home, the only local real estate agent I'd trust to find me a new one. How about John in Greencastle? He bought a home in Greencastle, right? But shortly after, his son moved to Fishers, which left him an hour away from family and 45 minutes from work. So John thought he made a big mistake and felt stuck since he'd only been in his home less than a year. Not a problem for the Mark Dietel team. They delivered big. John's home sold in 14 days to the price he needed so he could move closer to family and work.
Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Mark Dietel makes this easy. All you have to do is reach out to him. Call him right now, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need, when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed Sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
I'm Dennis Reinbold for Dryer & Reinbold BMW, Infiniti, and Mini at I-465 in Keystone, and Dryer & Reinbold BMW, Infiniti, Subaru, and Volkswagen at US 31 South in Greenwood. For 56 years, we've been working hard to earn your continued business and grow within our communities we support. That's why we offer competitive lease or purchase options and same-day service appointments for your convenience. See all our great selection of new quality pre-owned vehicles at dryreinbold.com.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Security after a deadly shooting. On Lisa Brady, Fox News, as police investigate the killing of 2 Israeli embassy staffers outside a Jewish museum in D.C. last night.
We have surged resources, police resources in New York City,
at Jewish cultural sites, diplomatic facilities, religious institutions, and schools.
But NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch says it's out of an abundance of caution. The suspect in the D.C. shooting is in custody. The Trump administration accuses a federal judge of putting ICE agents at risk by blocking deportations to South Sudan.
A federal judge in Boston says the deportation of several migrants to South Sudan violated a previous court order and says the Trump administration must allow them time to challenge removal to the war-torn country. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the judge's ruling is absurd.
Judge Brian Murphy is not the Secretary of State. He is not the Secretary of Defense or the Commander-in-Chief. He is a district court judge in Massachusetts.
Leavitt says all the individuals are convicted of serious crimes, including murder, and all have final deportation orders. The migrants are now being held in nearby Djibouti as the case is appealed. Leavitt says that puts U.S. personnel at unnecessary risk.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Multiple agencies investigating the crash of a small private jet into a San Diego neighborhood of military housing early today. 2 people killed, 8 injured.
The aircraft could seat up to 10 people. Assistant Fire Chief Dan Eddy said it's not certain if the confirmed deaths were on the ground or the plane.
We still have to identify who we have on the fatalities right now. But on the plane itself, that's what we'll do. That's why NTSB is here, working with other federal agencies to identify who's on the plane.
Multiple homes and cars were also damaged, aside from the house the plane directly hit.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down a point at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your file.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Suffer the children. Most of the rain is moving on off to the southeast. Now around Martinsville and south of there, it's 55 downtown. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Prosecutors say an Indianapolis man tortured his 5-year-old daughter until the day she died. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Just a heads up, what you're about to hear is disturbing. A woman is now charged with helping hide awful things that her ex-boyfriend did to his 5-year-old daughter, Zara.
One of the things that stood out to us is that there's an allegation, number one, that there was a noose recovered.
That's Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears speaking to the press Thursday.
The cell phone videos indicate that that noose was actually used on the child and was involved in that child ultimately passing away.
When police found Zachary Arnold's daughter on Monday, her little body was cold, stiff, and covered in bruises. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The 16-year-old hit and killed by a train Wednesday in Mishawaka has been ID'd as Victor Smith Moreland, a sophomore at Mishawaka High. He was hit by the train as he crossed the tracks Wednesday afternoon about 3:15. Will the judge accept the plea deal is a question to which the prosecutors and Misty Knoll's defense team are waiting on an answer. She's the wife of former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll, and she's prepared to do 1.5 years for stealing county money, along with her husband and daughter, who are already serving time.
We look at culpability throughout this entire case, and obviously we feel like Jamie Knoll was the most culpable. That doesn't mean Misty Knoll did not commit a crime. There's evidence today she admitted that she committed a crime.
Special Prosecutor Rick Hurdle after court Wednesday, where Misty Knoll entered her guilty plea in one of the largest public corruption cases in Indiana. How 3 people got arrested on drug charges this week in Howard County. John Herrick reports.
Police say they stopped a Chrysler 300 for having a broken headlight Tuesday night in Kokomo and found Michael Steelman and Joshua Smith inside of it. Both men had active arrest warrants, so they were taken into custody, and meth was found in the car. Then the cops got a search warrant for a home in Kokomo and say they found fentanyl, glass smoking devices, guns, and more meth.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
You may not have 1,000 horsepower, but you're always racing, whether it's to work, to pick something up, or drop someone off. So go the distance, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Shop any of Hubler's 13 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 2,000 vehicles. Chevys, Fords, Toyotas, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler
Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're racing to, go the distance, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Afternoon traffic on 93 WIBC with Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, inbound 65, stop and go 29th to Meridian Penn. That is a 5-minute delay. Eastbound 70 down grinding from Tibbs Avenue into the south split. And on the south side, eastbound 465, stop and go after 31 over to I-65. Northwest side, northbound 465 slows from 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465, stop and go from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Foundation Services. Water damaging your home? Contact Indiana Foundation Service, the basement concrete foundation experts. Get your free inspection today. Learn more at indianafoundationservice.com. Licensed in all states where work is performed. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy and cool for the day today with a few spotty showers. It's also going to be breezy. Highs only near 60, down to 44 degrees tonight under partly cloudy skies. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. I feel like all eyes in terms of sports in this country, if not the world, are on Indy with the huge swing of emotion yesterday as we found out the passing of Colts owner Jim Irsay, to the Indiana Pacers winning a spectacular Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals at the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Hell, we have the Fever playing tonight, Caitlin Clark, and there is a little something going on Sunday, right?
Oh, yeah, the world's largest one-day sporting event, the Indianapolis 500.
So that's where we'll go to the hotline and bring on one of the best Breitbart News sports editor, Dylan Gwynn. Mr. Gwynn, were you watching that Pacer game last night, and what did you think?
I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I almost turned it off. I mean, the Knicks were up by 14 with less than 3 minutes to play. I'm like, okay, this is a done deal. I can go empty the dishwasher, put the kids to bed, whatever. This is over and done with. And it's really, I think that game's going to go down as one of the ultimate choke jobs in the history of the NBA playoffs. I think it has to.
Yeah.
You're talking about a situation where a 14-point lead with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, the Pacers go 6 for 6 down that stretch, including 5 3-pointers, and you give up that dunk to, or that 2-pointer to Neesmith in overtime there, in which the Knicks didn't even offer any defense whatsoever in that situation. It's just unbelievable. That apparently I thought it was over, and the Knicks thought it was over too, because they basically stopped playing defense at that point in the game and gave Neesmith way too much space. And kind of Tom Thibodeau, the coach of the Knicks, talked about it in the postgame, gave him way too much space out there at the three-point line. Neesmith ends up with 30 points and just one of the most clutch shots in the history of the NBA from Halliburton there on that high deflection off the back of the rim that drops right in and ties the game. And, guys, I'll submit to you, if that had been a three-point shot, if Halliburton's overgrown toe had not been on that line, then we're talking about a Jordan-esque clutch shot here. We're talking about a Kobe clutch shot here. That one that'll go. I mean, that'll already go down in the history books and live in the memory of a lot of people from last night. But if that had won the game, you're talking about the stuff of history here.
And the rivalry factored in here. You saw the celebration from Tyrese Halliburton paying tribute to Reggie with the choke sign in the Garden.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to become a Pacer legend and endear yourself to this fan base, giving it to the Knicks, right in Ben Stiller's face, right in Spike Lee's face, Timothée Chalamet's face on national TV, that's how you do it.
That is absolutely how you do it, and he couldn't have done it any better. The only person who might have been able to one-up him in that situation would be his father, but we now know that his father is not allowed anywhere near the court. Yeah, so clearly that's not going to happen. But if Mr. Halliburton had been allowed to get on the floor, that could have been truly juicy. At that point there. No, it was great. And the second he did that, everybody knew exactly what he was doing in mimicking the great Reggie Miller. And the Knicks fans knew it too, as you could tell from the many salutes he got from the assembled crowd after doing that.
So we're speaking with Breitbart sports editor Dylan Gwynn. Such a strange range of emotions on a spectrum there yesterday for specifically for Hoosiers and fans of the Colts, fans of the Pacers. Is right before that game one started in Madison Square Garden, we find out that Jim Irsay, the Colts owner, suddenly passing away at the age of 65. I'm wondering, on a national level, what do other people think? What do other owners think? What do other fans think of Jim Irsay? We've been talking about locally here what Jim Irsay meant to Hoosiers and to Colts fans. He endeared himself to his fan base. What did you think of him as an owner, and what an owner, the legacy that he's leaving behind?
A few things jump out right away. Number one, he was a plain-spoken man in a time when that was very rare, okay? With the political correctness being what it is, specifically among billionaire owners in a high-profile league like the NFL, this guy said what was on his mind. And whether you agreed with what he said or disagreed with it, I think everyone should be able to appreciate, especially in this modern era, somebody willing to speak their mind. And Jim Irsay was going to give it to you straight one way or the other. There's no question about that. So he was very un-owner-like in that particular regard. Another area in which he was very un-owner-like was just the way he lived his life. I mean, this video that was circulating a lot yesterday after the announcement of his death, him going out there and squatting 525 pounds. I'm sure you guys have seen that video many times over the years, but it just reminded me yesterday of how unique this guy was. Like, he walked it and he talked it. He was not a traditional owner in that sense. So he was the people's owner, I think, is how a lot of people nationally will remember him, because he was much more like a normal guy than most NFL owners are. But he was also a player's owner. And you remember he did the introductory speech, the induction speech for 3 of his players asked him to do this. Dwight Freeney and Marvin Harrison, I believe Edgerrin. There were 3 players who asked him to do their Hall of Fame induction speeches. That's very rare for that to happen. But he had that kind of relationship with his players, and he celebrated their achievements. 10 years after in 2016, 10 years after the Colts win the Super Bowl, he throws an all-weekend party for everybody associated with that 2006 team and their families, and they party all weekend long. I mean, who does that? There's not a lot of owners. 10-year anniversary of the Super Bowl. Let's party down like crazy for an entire weekend. So I think there's 2 main things to take away from him. He's a straight shooter, and he was the people's owner, and he was the players' owner, but he was also a truly loved the city where his team was based. His final tweet before he died was urging the Pacers on to victory, and I think this was only 4 or 5 hours before he was announced that he had passed, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 6 hours before he passed. The thing that was on his mind was the Pacers. And he was urging them on to victory and saying, to root for our city. I'm paraphrasing here, but it was a very pro-Indianapolis sentiment that he was giving in that tweet, and that was on his mind. And in a day and age where most of these owners, they're billionaires, a lot of them don't have any direct ties to the cities where their teams are based. They just have money, and a team comes available, and they buy into it. It's a very transactional kind of thing. But with Jim Irsay, you felt like he was really a part of that city and a part of what it meant to be from Indianapolis, and that is special. And I think that's a vanishing thing in the NFL right now. You really don't have that much anymore, and he kind of epitomized that.
Chatting with Breitbart News sports editor Dylan Gwynn. Dylan, we got about 2 minutes left here, but I do want to get Caitlin Clark's story, an opinion from you on that. Opening day of the WNBA season was last Saturday. Caitlin Clark and the Fever take on their rival, Angel Reese in Chicago. Fever beat them by 35. Caitlin has a triple-double. Crowd is rocking and rolling. Caitlin knocks Angel Reese on her backside at one point, gets a flagrant foul. After the game, we then find out that the Chicago Sky were saying that those no-good, rotten fans in Indiana were saying inappropriate things, and the Fever put out some sort of statement saying, we're looking into allegations of fan misconduct. I just want to get your opinion on it, because it's of our belief that had Chicago won that game, Dylan, we wouldn't have heard word one.
There would have been racial harmony everywhere if Chicago had won. No, racism would have disappeared entirely from the landscape. And how is that investigation going? By the way, it was as you mentioned, that game was on Saturday. Here we are now on Thursday. And there has been nothing materially that has come from that whatsoever. Yet you have, the WNBA. I don't know if there's a league in America that is more prejudiced against its fans than the WNBA. You have all these new fans who have come to the sport because of Caitlin Clark. And then as soon as Caitlin Clark, beats Angel Reese and her team by 35 points, there's got to be an investigation of the fans.
Right.
There's got to be an investigation and persecution of the fans, and I think it's ridiculous. I think Indiana fans in particular. This goes back to the Pacers days in the '90s when they were playing Knicks. There were a lot of accusations of racism back then, but it always is unfounded. No one's ever charged, and no one's ever ejected, or banned from attending events or anything like that. And I think this is the same thing. It's just an excuse by the league to take the focus off of Caitlin Clark and what should be the justified celebration of the butt whooping that was put on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, and that's all it is.
And I guess I should bring up the fact again, as Hammer mentioned, the Fever lost their second game at home to Atlanta. There was no allegations of inappropriate behavior by anybody after the after the Fever lost.
Everybody at Gainbridge Fieldhouse were perfect angels yesterday because they lost.
Hey, Dylan, we got to get you out here, man, for the Indy 500. It's going to be a big weekend here in Indy, and we got to get you out here for one of these things, man.
I would love to do it. How about a rookie getting the pole? 232 miles an hour. Richard crazy? Schwartzman, way to go. Way to go.
There's been a lot of controversy here, a lot of drama, but we're going to have a good time this weekend. We got to leave it there. Dylan Gwynn, Breitbart.com, Breitbart News sports editor. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, brother, and we'll talk to you soon.
You guys do the same. Looking forward to it.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at inbound 65 stop-and-go traffic, MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 jammed up Tibbs Avenue into the south split, a 12-minute delay. Northbound 65 in Pike Township, stop-and-go after 71st up to 86. Northbound 465 slow after 79th up to 865. Eastbound 465 stop-and-go from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 slows 96 to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Speedway. Just stop at Speedway and grab any size Big Gulp for just 89 cents with Speedy Rewards. Summer is calling. Valid through 6/24/25. See app for full terms. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, a little gray outside, a little cool. 56 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We're going to play a fun round of Is This Anything? Come on back.
It's easier to win the race if you start in pole position. I mean, the same goes with your money, your retirement planning. Trajan Wealth is your team, your crew chief, if you will, helping you be ready as possible when the race to retirement is over. Matt Baer here. Hey, call and schedule your first consultation with Trajan Wealth. It's free. 317-480-4040. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth, designs wealth management to protect, maintain, and expand your financial portfolio. They offer retirement portfolios that are totally customized to your dreams and timeline. And it starts with an in-depth understanding of your short and long-term goals for the future. Call today to learn more about these strategies. 317-480-4040. That's 317-480-4040. Or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Spring is here, and Dammons is full speed ahead with endless plant production of perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, roses, and planters. Trucks are arriving with fresh trees and shrubs. Dammons' friendly staff is ready to assist you and get you the help you need. So for any of your gardening needs, experience Dammons South on Emerson Avenue and Dammons West on Rockville Road.
Dammons Lawn and Garden, Indiana's most complete garden center.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Hendricks County Fairgrounds in Danville. The best dealers in the region. Hundreds of tables. Just $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hendricks County Fairgrounds in Danville. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Heat and cool with nearly geothermal efficiency in places you can't fit ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits.
Just go to AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American standard Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits dealer.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, brought to you by Indiana Unclaimed. Presented by the Attorney General's office here in Indiana. The Attorney General's office reuniting Hoosiers Hammer with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. It's fun to put your name in there, see if you got anything floating around. Fast, easy, and free to search. IndianaUnclaimed.gov.
Is this anything? A news anchor in Schenectady, New York, went into labor just before her morning newscast yesterday And because she's a boss, she still anchored the show.
Jeez.
Her water broke at 4:15 a.m., and she was still on the air about 90 minutes later.
Can we get a mop out here, please?
Here is her and her co-host talking about being on the air.
We do have some breaking news this morning, literally.
Yes.
Olivia's water has broke.
That's
and
right.
she is anchoring the news now in active labor.
Early labor.
She's still here. She's been doing the entire show. This is her decision to do
Yes.
this.
I'd rather be at work than at the hospital.
After we're done with this show, you should
Yeah.
probably go.
Oh, thank you guys.
Oh, yay, Olivia.
I'll do my best.
Oh, there's the placenta.
Look at that, 3 hours of news.
That's right.
In contractions. I think that's
Okay,
a
I
first
think
for
we've heard.
CBS 6.
Save the umbilical cord for me. Yeah, that's something. I mean, yeah, if she did the whole newscast while she was in the beginning stages of labor and her water broke, that's pretty cool. But why stop there? Why? I mean, make real headlines. Have the baby on live TV.
Right. Have the
Yeah.
traffic and weather guys come over and like each hold a leg, and the doctor comes in and just pulls that little bastard out.
Now, we don't know if she's married or not.
Team coverage.
Yeah, that's something for sure.
Now, keep in mind, this woman worked 90 minutes while in early stages of labor,
No thanks.
and the number, 4 or 5 pick in the draft, Anthony Richardson got tired and came out of a game. Got tired.
When you think about it like that, it really puts things into perspective.
Is this anything? Here's a woman explaining how you can use the water tank of your toilet as a huge flower vase.
Filled with beautiful flowers. You want to layer them different lengths. This gets fresh water every flush. My bathroom is going to smell so great.
I saw
grabbed
this.
a mixture of them because I wanted a fun color. And it's
You
not
can
going to
take
affect
as
the
many
flushing
poops as
mechanism.
you
And your
want,
guests
but
are gonna
because
go,
there's
"What in the
flowers in the
world?"
tank.
My guests come in, they use the bathroom, it's pretty, and then they just flush it.
Now, all
Is it
right,
gonna
I'm
work?
done. I'm done. She literally takes the top off the tank and fills it with tall flower. This feels like it should be a feature or something talked about on the Home and Garden Show, Allison, which I know you're a part of with Denny Smith and
My first
Pat
thought
Sullivan.
seeing this video was Denny Smith would be appalled. I think the top comment was from a plumber, and it said something like, "Only do this if you want to support local plumbers." So,
Okay.
I don't think you're
Okay.
supposed to, but I love her creativity.
No, she says the mechanism which flushes the toilet is not, it doesn't get blocked. But she does pour like that packet of flower food in to make the flowers last, but she flushes the toilet, so it goes directly out. I don't get this. This is dumb, but I think it needs to be definitely a discussion on Home and Garden because the fact that she thinks her toilet in her bathroom is not going to stink just because there's flowers in there.
Right.
You know,
I just drank 3 warm Budweisers and 6 White Castle sliders, but thank God these flowers are in there. I'm going to stay in here all day long. Seriously, though, Allison, this needs to be like a science project on the Home and Garden Show. Put Terry Stacy in
I
charge
will
of that.
gladly make this a new craft corner for us.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it. This is
I'll
Craft
report
Corner.
back.
Yes.
You'll guys find fresh flowers in the urinals Monday.
Okay.
The Craft Crapper. I like it. By the way, this week's Home and Garden Show, you guys are doing the parade, right?
Yeah, we'll be broadcasting the parade live right here on the Circle.
I love it when you guys do that.
Yeah, I
You
think
guys
it's
have been
cool.
doing that you do that every year, right?
Every year. It's
Yeah.
so much fun. So much fun. A great way to kick off the weekend.
I like it when Terry Stacy just starts yelling at people, even though there's no chance in hell they're hearing her. She'll be in mid-sentence, and then the OCD will kick in. Oh, there's Marco Andretti!
Yeah, we'll be in the middle of a conversation. She'll throw her headset off and start screaming, Marco!
Is this anything? Paris Hilton showed friends her hack to remove grease from pizza. She slaps the slice, cheese side down, on the outside lid of the pizza box. Some
What?
fans are pointing out that, the outside of that pizza box isn't necessarily clean, and a napkin could just as easily be a more sanitary option.
Ooh! My trick. To get the oil off. You know how you dab it? That's just a faster way to do it. Life hack.
Is that anything?
No, that's nothing. Is Paris Hilton anything? Is she still relevant? She used to be so hot back in the day, man. Yeah. I was going to use, fine, I'll say it, lusted. Sure.
You lusted after Paris Hilton?
I use the L word for Paris. I like the tall, skinny blondes, man. Something about them. But now, what is she? Who is she? What does she do?
Brian Urlacher's ex-girlfriend now.
Good Lord. And she's on TikTok slapping pizza upside down to get rid of the grease on the box. Yeah, just do it like a normal person does. A paper towel.
Now, you're making it sound like Paris Hilton has let herself go to where she looks like Whoopi Goldberg or something. It's not the case. She's still an attractive woman.
Yeah, but what is she doing? She was relevant back then, or was she?
She was relevant because...
The sex tape?
A sex tape came out. That makes you relevant?
Oh, yeah. Well, it did for Kim Kardashian. Look what it did for her career.
That's true. She's like a billionaire now because she likes to do the hibbity-dibbity on tape.
Who is it, Ray J?
Ray J.
Yeah. Good for him.
Lesson here, kids. Make a tape.
Sex tape.
Sex tape.
I go for it.
There you go. Don't worry about being an influencer. Don't worry about doing a job. Worry about the lighting on your tape. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When it comes to your furnace, when it comes to your air conditioning, when it comes to home maintenance, we only deal with American Standard Heating and Air because they are built to a higher standard. Here is Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome local independent American Standard dealers right here in Central Indy.
How about Family Heating and Air? The Morris family and their staff ready to hook you up this summer. You could call Rachel, you could call Marcus, or you could call Malia today to make sure that AC unit is rocking and rolling and ready for the hot air that's coming later in the summer. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion. So if you got a quote from somebody else that doesn't look right, call Family because nobody cares for you like family. 317-577-8077. Ask about that indoor air quality as well. 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air built to a higher standard.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Look for Mirafast at Walmart today. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's been called the largest public corruption case in state history. The rain is moving on off to the southeast, most of it down in southern Johnson and Morgan counties right now, and even Monroe County. It's 55 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. Former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Noel and his daughter Casey are already serving time for stealing millions of dollars from the county EMS and fire departments while they lacked important equipment. Wednesday, Misty Noel, the former sheriff's wife, entered a guilty plea.
We'll take the plea under advisement pending the preparation of pre-sentence investigative report.
Special Judge Larry Medlock. He will have to approve the plea, and Misty Noel will then serve a year and a half in prison on theft charges. A crash involving at least 2 semi-trucks responsible for one person's death this morning about 9 on I-65 southbound north of Lebanon, say state police. No name released yet. 2 staff members of the Israeli embassy are dead following a Wednesday night shooting outside of a Jewish museum in the nation's capital. Fox's David Spunt is there.
We know that Elias Rodriguez, who is the suspect in this case, authorities say he's talking. They're looking through some writings they believe belongs to him, although they're not calling it a manifesto. Sarah Milgram is the female victim here, and Yaron Lashinsky is the male victim here. Family members say they were set to be engaged not long from now. It happened shortly after 9 p.m. Now, Yaron Lashinsky's father spoke to our Trey Yingst in Israel. He says of Yaron and Shara, quote, they were in love one for the other. The embassy told us they were like the star couple at the embassy. I never expected something like this. He had his whole life before him.
Attorney General Pam Bondi has hinted that the suspected shooter, who is from Chicago, is likely to face federal charges. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
The month of May is here, so start your search engines and go to IndianaUnclaimed.gov to claim your money today. You have cash waiting for you at IndianaUnclaimed.gov. Right now, the Attorney General's office is reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. This isn't a boat or a car or contents of a storage locker. This is your money, your cash that's actually waiting for you. It could have been a deposit that you forgot you were supposed to get back, or a dividend from a stock. It could have been an insurance claim. There are a whole series of reasons why you have money waiting for you. Well, the Attorney General has those dollars, and you can search it up fast, easy, and free at IndianaUnclaimed.gov. Victory Lane is just one claim away at IndianaUnclaimed.gov. Search for yourself, your family, and your business this May. Text my name, Tony, to 46220 or visit IndianaUnclaimed.gov. IndianaUnclaimed.gov. Now go get your cash.
Afternoon traffic on 93 WIBC with Matt Bear.
Inbound 65, Chris, stop and go traffic from the White River Bridge to the North Split. That is an 11-minute delay. Eastbound 70, delayed 9 minutes from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split. Inbound 69, stop and go traffic, 106th Street, 282nd. Pike Township, northbound 465, slow after 79th up to 865. Northbound 65, slow from the 465 ramps up to 71st Street. And the southbound lanes dragging around West 86th Street. Inbound 65 looking pretty good right now as you make your way through 38th Street, Kessler Boulevard. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMB. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few showers hang around to early tonight with lows in the mid-40s. Patchy fog possible early Friday morning, but then we'll launch to a partly cloudy and warmer day for Carve Day with highs in the mid-60s and a slight breeze. I'm Wish TV Star Trek 8 meteorologist Stephen DNF for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
Kevin Bowen is part of the morning show over at our sister station 107.5 The Fan, and a former employee of the Indianapolis Colts. Used to be the writer in that building. KB, we've been talking a lot about Jim Irsay in this program. We've talked about the kind of guy he was, what he meant to the city, a lot of stuff about him personally. I want to pivot a little bit and ask you about the state of the franchise here. What's next for the Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah, just first, rest in peace, Jim Irsay, and thoughts of the 3 daughters and 10 grandchildren, so many people within that organization that I do think he made a lot of employees, especially some higher level ones, feel like family to him. But yeah, as far as passing that torch, I do think it's something they have been planning for. You probably got to go back now I want to say 2011, where, he announced a change in the titles for each of the 3 daughters to where they would be vice chair and owner. And, at that point, they all still were, fairly young. I want to say, maybe all under the age of 30. So if you look at the 3 daughters, Carly, Irsay Gordon, Casey Foyt, and then Kaylin Jackson, that's the order of them. Carly, the oldest, is probably the one that people see the most often around football settings, i.e. on the sidelines during games. She's wearing a headset. She's at practice on a daily basis. I would say she's probably largely ran the day-to-day operations for probably the past, half dozen years, maybe even more. Again, day-to-day operations, not necessarily the big football stuff that, a lot of people would think of. I don't think Casey, the middle one, is super involved, and the youngest one, Kaylin, she's very big in the kicking the stigma. I've always been very impressed with her from a communicative standpoint. But Carly definitely is not going to be as boisterous or outspoken as her dad. But I fully expect the daughters to take the torch from him and keep the franchise here, and all of those, I guess, inevitable, unavoidable questions you have when something like this occurs.
Okay, so that was the $1 million question, right? Are the daughters, at least to your knowledge, committed to keeping the Indianapolis Colts in Indy?
Yes, I would be surprised. You think about it from a generational standpoint. It's not often, you have, and I speak for anybody. It's not often you have 3 children. Now all of them, I believe, are 35 or older. All 3 of them call Indianapolis home. Imagine, Hammer or, anybody else out there, having children, and then all of a sudden, hey, boom, someone moves away. That's rather common, but all 3 of them call, Indianapolis and Indiana home. And then the other aspect of it is, again, especially Carly, but a little bit of Kaylin. I'd say they are very involved, especially Carly, with the organization on a day-to-day basis. So, I think they've wanted to be a part of the NFL and not be, standoffish or just want to do something else, with their professional life. So, unless I'm totally misreading something, it's not like you would want to get out of the NFL business, I think, anytime soon from a financial sense. I would fully expect this to continue. And you would think behind the scenes, inheritance tax, estate planning, all of that, maybe it was done largely in 2011 when they changed those titles. A lot of that stuff is over my head, but the NFL requires you to have a succession plan in place from an ownership standpoint. So I would assume all of that is pretty crystal clear behind the scenes.
You mentioned at the beginning of the segment how Jim Irsay made his employees feel like family. I'm assuming, I would assume it's just a kind of a somber day there on West 56th Street. You worked for the Colts organization in the media department for a number of years. Did you have much interaction with Jim Irsay? And I was just kind of wondering what it was like on a day-to-day basis, if with, maybe even in the limited time that you had personally with him.
Yeah, I don't want to, over dramatize that and act like we were super, super close by any means. But, in my interactions with him, I always felt well respected. I always felt like he treated employees, even though he maybe not have a personal relationship with you, treated you like you would want to be treated. And, I was fortunate to be behind the scenes probably half a dozen times with him, i.e. no cameras, not in front of the media, things like that. And to watch how he interacted and communicated with people that, you could times their salary by 20 and they wouldn't be in his tax bracket. That always stood out to me, of just the quiet nature. We actually had a listener reach out to us this morning, and I've heard so many of these stories about things that you wouldn't want like Irsay didn't want in the public light, but the philanthropic heart that he had was so genuine and so pure, he went out of his way to do it. And one of the stories was a worker at Qdoba told his manager that Jim Irsay had paid for his college, and the manager was like, "Wait a minute, will you explain a little bit more here? Like, what is this connection here?" And the worker's mom was a part of the house staff for Jim Irsay, and Irsay, I guess, had a rule. I don't know if "rule" is the right word, but had a rule that all employee children at his house, and when I say house, I mean, compound really is probably the better way to put it.
Oh, yeah.
If they maintain, good grades and they continue to work for him, he would pay for their kids to go to college. And this is about a decade ago. And at that point, like 80 kids had gone to college via Irsay.
That's awesome.
I've not heard that before.
Again, this is just, and I can't tell you how many stories I've heard from just friends of terminal illness here, fatal disease here, and boom, Irsay's offered his plane to do this or, that. And so I just think, yes, we can see the Irsay YMCA. We can see Wheeler Mission, Super Bowl rings and a scavenger hunt around town and Abby's hat pick on Twitter. There is a lot of that, but there's also kicking the stigma, certainly, but there's so much behind the scenes that will probably be my biggest memory of him away from football.
KB, one more thing on Irsay here before we touch on something else. how did other owners around the league view Jim? Like if you spoke to Jerry Jones, if you spoke to, any other owner in the league, not counting Daniel Snyder, who's no longer in the league. I think we know how Jim Irsay felt about that guy. What would they say about Jim?
Yeah, it's a great question, Hammer. I do think there's an immense amount of respect. And, yeah, at times they probably looked at him like, oh, boy, here's this crazy uncle that's trying to act like Indianapolis should sit at the big boy table. But deep down, I think they did respect that. And what they respected the most about him was his reverence for the league. There are times where I could not believe how, to the nth degree, he'd go and talking about the Shield and the Hallis family and the Mara family and the Hunt family. Some of these rich NFL owner names. Pretty much people that started the league, and just again the amount of reverence he had for the history and the integrity of the league, I think was very real. And I think the owners did appreciate that. I would also add one more thing. Probably the football item I will remember Jim Irsay for the most is, if you've watched, and for those of you that do watch the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame ceremonies, each player that goes into the Hall of Fame, they have one person present them. Oftentimes, it's a former coach, maybe a former teammate, maybe a family member, those sorts of people. And I can tell you, and I've watched these now for 15-some years, 20 years, I can tell you on one hand, I can probably count the amount of owners I've seen present a player, the player asking the owner of the team to present them. And in the last decade, Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, and Dwight Freeney all had Jim Irsay present them into the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And think about it. Edgerrin didn't end his career here. The Colts didn't bring him back before the Super Bowl. Dwight Freeney didn't end his career here. They chose Robert Mathis over Dwight Freeney back in 2013. So for three players, three very different personalities, three very different careers on the back end, for them all to choose Jim Irsay, that has really, really stood out to me over the test of time.
Kevin Bowen, 107.5 The Fan here in the morning show. Let's pivot 180 degrees to Sunday, Indy 500. It looked like it's going to be, the weather is going to hold off. Rain's going to hold off, going to be cool. And we got a pair of drivers that drive for Penske that are starting in the very back. I heard you mention an interesting, Penske laid waste to some of the upper management of the organization yesterday. And who were these guys that got fired for the indiscretions with Joseph Newgarden's car and Will Power's car? Who were these guys? And you made an interesting comparison to what it would be like of these guys getting fired before, like in the NFL.
Yeah, basically, I would the analogy for me would be a team firing their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach the week of the Super Bowl. And now, what are we, 72 hours away from their Super Bowl. So, yes, these are the strategists for the three cars, Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, and Joseph Newgarden. So, think about any time you see the pit stands and you see them on radio, and oftentimes these people are, interviewed late in races to describe strategy and things like that. So you do see them on TV a little bit during the 500. So I will say this, I do commend Robert, all the names are going in my head, Roger Penske for how he has reacted to it. Now, who knows? Is it trying to save face? Is it trying to save his image? I don't really care. I think these are pretty stiff penalties that he is issuing, or, indirectly, I guess, people that work for him are issuing, whether it's sending Newgarden and Power to the back of the field or, again, the firing of these people all during. I mean, he easily could opt for the, hey, we're going to investigate this, and once we have our findings, we'll figure something out. And
you mean like the WNBA, Kevin? That sounds familiar. Like the WNBA.
Right. Exactly. And hey, we're gonna let them work through the 500 because this is the Super Bowl. How many people really care about Detroit next week, or things like that. So for him to do that, put his foot down to the degree that he is, I do commend him for that.
What's coming up on the big show tomorrow, Carb Day?
Yeah, so we will be out there. We'll have Robert Schwartzman, the pole sitter, join us. We'll have Ed Carpenter. Certainly will garner quite a cheer. He's joined us now annually for the last 4 or 5 years at our Carb Day show. So it'll be chilly. Gates open at 8. Crack a beer with us. Come out to Pagoda Plaza. We will be there bright and early. And I can't wait. It has been a week unlike any other in the indie sports world.
We didn't even talk about the Pacers.
Right. So I guess I should say more than anything, I'm ready for a beer.
You know what? That sounds good to us. It's kind of out of our character, Kevin, but I guess we'll imbibe tomorrow.
All right.
Good stuff, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Of course, guys. Have a great one.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. That's 800-890-5075. Paid for by Term Direct.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Heat and cool places where ductwork won't fit using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits. You can even wrap them to match your decor.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
Recovery is a journey, and no one walks it alone. The Supporting Sobriety podcast helps friends and families understand addiction, offer support, and care for themselves along the way. Hosted by Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up in just a moment, the annual reading of 'Twas the Night Before Carb Day. But first, Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
All right, Hammer inbound 65, stop and go traffic from MLK down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slows from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split. Inbound 69 delayed 5 minutes, 106th Street to 82nd. South side eastbound 465, stop and go traffic before 31 over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's 56 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Tomorrow is Carb Day.
Yes.
We are broadcasting live from Gasoline Alley area, garage number 23. Remember, Michael Jordan, 23. That's where we're at.
Easy enough.
Oh, man, the Hensley Legal Group Command Center. Stop by, hang out with us. But to get you in the mood for tomorrow, a tradition unlike any other, story time with Uncle Nige. 'Twas the night before Carb Day.
'Twas the night before Carb Day, and all through the town, the jorts were being cut. The beer was icing down. The cooler is loaded and ready for the car. It's stocked with Miller and even PBR. The concert is ready. The bands have been booked. I've even practiced my cough for when I call in sick to work. After beer number 8, just so you know, I start yelling out the names of all the drivers that I know. On AJ, on TK, on old Ray Haroon, on Mario, on Dario, and Danica, too. It's sunburned fat guys passed out by 3 o'clock. It's tattooed single moms all taking off their tops. Saturday will be the worst hangover you know. But happy Carb Day to all from the Hammer and Nigel Show.
There you go.
The end.
'Twas the night before Carb Day.
Very sentimental.
From the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Spring is here, and Dammons is full speed ahead with endless plant production of perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, roses, and planters. Trucks are arriving with fresh trees and shrubs. Dammons' friendly staff is ready to assist you and get you the help you need. So for any of your gardening needs, experience Dammons South on Emerson Avenue and Dammons West on Rockville Road.
Dammons Lawn and Garden, Indiana's most complete garden center.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I'm a proud owner of B-Window.
I'm a proud B-Window owner.
I'm a proud B-Window owner.
When you work with a local, employee-owned home improvement company like B Window, quality comes first because your home improvements are a reflection of our business. And for a limited time, we're extending our employee discount to you, up to 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust local, trust employee-owned, trust your home to be.
Trust me. Carb Day starts at Just Add Water Boats on South Franklin. We're going to be there from 6 to 9 a.m. Check out the huge selection of new and used boats and wave runners, snacks and drinks, plus accessory giveaways, including tubes and life jackets. Join us at Just Add Water Boats this Friday at 6 a.m. as we kick off Carb Day.
Tired of hard water stains, dry skin, or smelly water? Well or City Water, C&J, the official water treatment sponsors of the Pacers and Fever, gives you softer water, cleaner drinking water, with no more taste and odor issues thanks to a high-efficiency water softener, advanced water treatment, and reverse osmosis systems. Make every drop in your home pure, fresh, and worry-free. Best prices of the year right now with C&J's Well Water Bundles and City Water Bundles. C&J for great systems, great people too. 317-733-SOFT.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Bush Museum in D.C. last night and then shouting Free Palestine is now facing multiple counts. The Justice Department announcing charges, including murder of federal officials against 31-year-old Elias Rodriguez of Chicago.
FBI agents in Chicago, Illinois, going through the suspect's home, but FBI agents in Washington, D.C. going through writings they believe that he authored. A source is not calling it a manifesto, but they say that this could help, no doubt, in this investigation.
Fox's David Spunt in Washington, the attack prompting ramped-up security at Israeli missions and other sites. There may be more dead in the crash of a small plane into a military housing neighborhood in San Diego early today. A music talent agency now says its co-founder who owned the plane is dead, along with 2 other employees. Investigators only confirming 2 dead and 8 injured. The Make America Healthy Again Commission releases its first report.
More than 40% of American children now have at least one chronic health condition. Since the 1970, rates of childhood cancer have soared in many cases by nearly 50%, 50%. Wow.
President Trump alongside Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The report blames several factors, including ultra-processed foods, lack of physical activity, and chemical exposures. It orders a study on pesticides. Homeland Security revokes Harvard's ability to enroll international students. Secretary Kristi Noem accusing the university of creating an unsafe environment.
They have promoted and allowed violent activity on campus. They have allowed anti-Semitism, participation with CCP and Chinese infiltration and influence on their campus, and they haven't protected their students.
Harvard calls the government's action unlawful. America is listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why the prosecutor is seeking life in prison on this one. A few showers well to the south of the Indy Metro and a couple of showers well to the north of the Indy Metro. On Monument Circle, it's dry and 56. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Zara Arnold was 5 years old and went through things no one should ever have to experience.
What is alleged is that this child had to suffer a great deal before ultimately she passed away.
Indy Metro Police found the 5-year-old covered in bruises Monday. Her father, Zachary Arnold, was arrested. Prosecutor Ryan Mears says he'll seek life in prison. Court records show 7 prior DCS reports. Arnold's ex is also charged for helping cover up the abuse. Former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knowles' wife, Misty, has pleaded guilty in the corruption case that sent her husband and daughter to prison.
The county should appreciate what's been done by law enforcement up to this point in time, the time that's been put in and the effort that's put in to kind of bring some justice to victims in this matter.
Special prosecutor Rick Hurdle outside court Wednesday. If the judge approves, she'll spend a year and a half in prison for stealing $660,000 from the county's fire and EMS divisions and not declaring the income on her taxes. Antoine Irvin has been convicted of murder for the March 2023 shooting death of family friend Brian Williams on South Meridian Street. Irvin was caught when he left his broken-down car on the interstate, and a Hoosier helper saw bullets in the car, which matched the shell casings at the scene. If you were on I-65 around 9 this morning near Lebanon and saw the traffic back up southbound, that was because of a fatal wreck. State police say 2 semis were involved and 1 person died, but they haven't released a name. Rain is possible this weekend. John Herrick reports on how it might affect the 500.
No severe weather's expected, but here's what Mike Ryan at the National Weather Service in Indianapolis lays out.
Our thoughts right now here in Indianapolis for Sunday is isolated scattered showers are possible. Otherwise, we should be dry. Again, cool, probably in the mid to upper 60s, which is below normal for late May.
He believes the heaviest rain should move into southern Indiana and is likely to avoid the track, but he and his colleagues will continue to monitor everything. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Afternoon traffic on 93 WIBC with Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, looking at inbound 69 stop-and-go traffic for a 6-minute delay coming down 106th Street, 282nd. Inbound 65 dragging MLK into Meridian Penn. Eastbound 78-minute delay from Belmont into the split south side. Eastbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from I-69 over to I-65 and on the east side, northbound 465 slowing from 70 up to Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few showers hang around to early tonight with lows in the mid-40s. Patchy fog possible early Friday morning, but then we'll launch to a partly cloudy and warmer day for Carb Day with highs in the mid-60s and a slight breeze. I'm Wish TV Star Trek 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Yeah, the story about the 2 Israeli embassy staff members who were a couple getting ready to get engaged that were killed outside a Jewish museum in D.C. Last night is just awful. I hate even talking about it. It's necessary, though. A man is in custody. Of course, you know, Gaza's involved, shouting pro-Palestinian slogans. And this is just a kind of thing that I want you to know that's going on, that's happening, that this is anti-Semitic sentiment, and it's more than that. It's violence against Jews, and it's being perpetuated by these pro-Palestinian protesters, demonstrators. I did this for Gaza. This guy, Elias Rodriguez from Chicago, was caught, thank God, and I hate talking about it, but it's just, it's awful, awful.
Here is the moment captured on video when he was taken into custody. And again, this is after he had shot 2 people, ultimately taking their lives.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Then the police take him into another room and book him. He has been charged with murder, rightfully so. And what's interesting, Nige, is that all the people who are the first ones to have hot takes when it comes to Israel, like Representative Ilhan Omar, when given the opportunity to speak about this, didn't have a damn word to say, ran from the cameras and microphones.
I'm watching it right now. Somebody walked up to her. She was walking on Capitol Hill. Can I get your reaction to the shooting that happened in D.C.? I'm going to go for now, was her response. Now, all of a sudden, you're bashful? I'm going to go for now. I'm going to go for now. I mean, even if you, I don't know what's the use anymore.
I mean, this was an assassination, an anti-Semitic assassination. That's what this was.
Of Israeli embassy staff members that were in love, that were getting to get ready to get married in Jerusalem. Just
a gross story, but again, feels like something you guys need to be in the loop on, as murder charges have now been filed. The tributes continue to pour in for Colts owner Jim Irsay. Again, Nige, just 65 years old. Looked a little older than 65, but
yeah,
Jim, if he were here today, would be the first one to tell you he's done some living.
Did some living, and we have no idea the cause of death. No idea whatsoever. I know that he had some major health issues January of last year, and I don't know if those carried over. I don't know anything. I don't want to speculate, but his physical appearance had changed over the years.
Wasn't as visible as he had been in the past, because you used to see him at every Colts game.
Yeah.
You know, talking to the press, riding around in the cart, doing everything. And it was noticeable that he wasn't around last year, if that makes sense, because he's always been that larger-than-life owner that, good or bad, would at least come out and talk to the press or answer a few questions, be seen. That really wasn't the case last year.
You know, the thing about Irsay was when you did get an interview with him, whether it be with some of our guys on the sports talk station, the Fan, or whoever, the dude could talk. It was like you asked him a question. He was a great interview. I never interviewed him personally, but I could just, you ask him one question and it's like butterflies.
Right.
Butterfly wings. Just, I mean, it just lasts, it goes on forever.
In a social media post yesterday, I think you retweeted it on our Hammer and Nigel account, Pat McAfee, when he decided he was going to retire from the Colts.
Dude.
Sat down with Irsay for hours, and they just talked business stuff.
Yeah. Well, they talked business stuff, and they talked, you know, once Irsay realized that McAfee wasn't going to re-sign, even if they renegotiated his contract, that read McAfee's thing on Instagram. It was very emotional.
Here is former Colts wide receiver, popular fan favorite Brandon Stokely, talking about the passing of Jim Irsay.
It hurts. It really does. You know, Jim Irsay was a great owner. He was a great person. He loved his players. He took care of his players. And you talk about generous guys, you know, every year, you know, for Christmas, every player would have a gift on their locker. You talk about great gifts, you know, TVs, you know, when the new PlayStations came out, we'd have a PlayStation. So you talk, and even after you were done playing for him, just such a generous guy. He loved the Colts, obviously. He was a great guy with a big heart.
That was Brandon Stokely, former Colt receiver.
And multiple people that were, multiple Colts that were inducted into the Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame, had Irsay do the intro. Had him do the induction, which is highly unusual.
We don't know any funeral plans or celebration of life plans or anything yet. We do know his old man is buried at Crown Hill Cemetery. So I don't know if that's where Jim will go. It makes sense that that's probably where he will be. But when we get any sort of plans, we'll pass that on to you. And Nige, it's been a rough 5-year stretch, if you will, of icons of sport in Indiana passing away. You go back to Bob Knight passing away, Bobby Slick Leonard passing away, which, man, he would be in love with his current Pacers team, by the way. Could you imagine those boom babies?
No.
And now you've got Jim Irsay. So of the folks that are still living, who are the greatest sports icons in Indiana or even associated with Indiana? Because like Peyton Manning and Reggie Miller, they're not from Indiana, but I think they're like adopted Hoosiers, right?
Yeah, I don't think Peyton lives here anymore. Reggie doesn't live here anymore.
But Reggie's always said he'll always be a Hoosier. Like he'll always, talk about the Pacers. He loves Indiana. So I kind of count them in a de facto way.
Larry Legend.
Larry Bird. Bobby Plump hit that Milan final shot.
Wow, yeah.
How about some race car drivers? Mario Andretti and A.J. Foyt. Again, two guys not from Indianapolis, but I think they're affiliated with Indianapolis. And speaking of race car drivers, tomorrow, once again, Carb Day out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Action on the track. There's the pit stop competition. All-American Rejects, Brett Michaels, they're doing the concert. And you and I, Nige, we're going to be doing our show at Garage 23, the Hensley Legal Group Command Center over there. So if you see like the big Pagoda Plaza, normally that's where like JMV and the Hip Hop Channel are going to be broadcasting at. They put us over just a little bit down the road from them at Garage 23.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'll take it.
We're there.
As long as we're there.
Right.
It took 7 or 8 years of us poking and prodding management to let us broadcast from Carb Day, one of the most popular party days of the year in Indianapolis, besides the actual Indy 500.
I mean, we were frustrated for a long time because our numbers are better than any of these dirt bags. We got a bigger reach than any of these dirt bags. Our station's the longtime home of the Indy 500, 93 WIBC. And this is the most important thing, we can drink those dirt bags under the table. And we were always left out year after year. Well, guess what? We're finally going to be there. Might not be front and center, but we're going to be there. So find us at Garage 23 tomorrow. I'm going to have the celebrity beer bong out there. Rumors of a Guy Relford appearance. The crazy coupon lady's going to come by. And we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. And to get you into the mood, into the spirit of Carb Day tomorrow, I think what we need are some words of wisdom from A.J. Foyt.
Oh.
Hammer and Nigel present Words of Wisdom with A.J. Foyt.
It was Jeff Andretti that got... Well, yeah, he's all over the goddamn track. You don't know where the hell he's going. Kept from knocking him through the goddamn wall. I'm tired of this shit. Got people out there that shouldn't even be in the goddamn race car.
Words of Wisdom with A.J. Foyt.
It was a live broadcast. Super text letting it fly live on the air. Matt Bear, what's going on?
What's happening, fellas? Looking at inbound 69, stop and go, 106.3 down to 82nd, a 7-minute delay. And inbound 65, looking at a 9-minute delay from MLK to the north split. Eastbound 70 delayed 7 minutes, Tibbs Avenue into the south split. South side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic. That's from I-69 over to I-65. Northwest side, slow on the exit from northbound 465 to northbound 65. Northbound 465, stop and go, 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Foundation Services. Water damaging your home? Contact Indiana Foundation Service, the Basement Concrete Foundation experts. Get your free inspection today. Learn more at IndianaFoundationService.com. Licensed in all states where work is performed. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up here in just about 15 minutes or so, Rob Kendall's going to come in the studio, flip everybody off, and go off the rails.
Perfect.
That's his MO. That's how he's going to get down. But coming up before then, a spirited round of Are You Okay With This? That is on the way right now. Gray skies, 56 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Watching your parents get older is something you never get used to. You know it's going to happen, but it still doesn't seem right. Especially when the time comes to consider moving a parent into a nursing home. It's a hard decision for you and them. And when that's the right choice, there's the added stress of what to do with the house. Simple Quarters understands and can help relieve some of that stress. They're a Christian company who is compassionate about what you and your parent are going through. They can help with the logistics of selling the home. They'll buy it as is, no need for repairs, cleaning, staging, or showings. No catch. It's one less thing for you to worry about. Simple Quarters, a Christian company dedicated to helping families through life's transitions. If you're facing the challenge of selling a home due to a loved one moving into an assisted living or nursing home, call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Or go to simplequarters.com.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. The Memorial Day sale is here. 20% off container trees and shrubs and 30% off pottery now through June 1st. Finish off your yard and garden for the summer with annuals, perennials, and hanging baskets still in stock. And save 20% off container trees and shrubs, 30% off pottery at the Memorial Day sale at Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield, Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 in Bargersville.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. Lance Smith joins me right now. No, we're not related, but I'd be proud to call him my son, my uncle, my cousin, whatever. Lance, welcome to the studio.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, sump pumps, they're coming up. You guys, it's probably time to get your sump pump special. You brag on this every year.
Yep, it's a real deal. Free primary sump pump with the purchase of a battery backup system. Simple as that. No hidden labor fees or anything like that. 317-927-7186 or ldsmithplumbing.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Training for a new job after 55 can be challenging. But through the Senior Community Service Employment Program, or CSEP, unemployed workers 55 and over can receive on-the-job training in preparation for a new role. You even get paid for your training time. To see if you qualify, call 765-830-WORK. That's 765-830-WORK. Then, armed with a new set of skills, get out there and start your second act.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Zero Res. Get 3 rooms cleaning starting at just $129 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141. Book online at zeroresindy.com.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits dealer.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, a 29-year-old guy in Vancouver, had to be rescued after he jumped off a bridge into a river.
Oh, no.
But he was not trying to hurt himself. He told cops that he was just on meth and someone dared him to jump. Are you okay with this?
I don't know. Let me go to our correspondent Schwartz from A Christmas Story and see what he says.
I triple dog dare you!
Okay. If he's all right with it, I'm all right with it. I accept that answer. I actually respect the honesty. He could come up with some bullcrap story. I was feeling down. I was feeling depressed. I had nowhere to go. I was ready to end it all. But he was honest. We always say we want transparency. We always say we want honesty. My man comes up, no, I was tripping balls and somebody dared me to do it. Well, all right then.
Would he have done it if he hadn't been on meth? Something tells me the kind of guy that would jump off a bridge on a dare, meth or no meth, he's doing it.
I think it depends on how good the meth is.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, if you have the propensity for drugs and meth, you're jumping off that bridge.
But if I've got
really?
bad meth, like it's not that potent,
Yeah.
I'm probably not ready to jump off, the bridge into the Ohio River. But if I've got something that makes me feel like I've got wings and I can do this, then we got ourselves a ball game.
Joey Fatone of NSYNC. He's now a spokesman for Red Lobster. If you're wondering what the tie-in is, here's the mini ad he does with his niece.
3 courses for just $19.99. That is a big deal.
Your Uncle Joey was a big deal in 1999.
Oh, boy. How about we just enjoy the shrimp?
The new 3-quart shrimp sensation. Super salad, shrimp app, and shrimp entree for just $19.99. Only at Red Lobster.
No, not
You
okay with
that?
this.
No?
Not at
Why?
all. Because this should have been Flavor Flav. Red Lobster would not be standing here today had it not been for the grassroots effort of America's favorite hype man, Flavor Flav. Like almost single-handedly, he got a bunch of his buddies together and they were going state to state across the country trying to save Red Lobsters by walking in, ordering everything off the menu and sharing it with people inside. That's who it should be right here. I would have rather watch a commercial with Flavor Flav going nuts than Joey Fat One.
I'm sorry, you mispronounced it. It's Fatone.
Oh, that's right.
Stop.
But it's spelled Fat One, and that's the one he was in NSYNC, so it works out nicely. But no, I'm not okay with that. That should have been Flavor Flav.
Are you okay with this? The first mass-produced flying car will go on sale early next year. They're not cheap. The base model is $800,000. It's basically a sports car with retractable wings. You still need a runway and a pilot's license. Are you okay with this?
No. We can't drive cars. You want these idiots up in the sky? Have you seen these idiots out on 465? Have you seen these morons on 65 and 70? The people that don't know that you're not supposed to turn left from 3 lanes over? The people that can't figure out the concept of a turn signal? You want them up in the skies? No, thank you, my friend. I'm going to pass that one. That's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, we've been talking about the flying cars for a while now, it seems like. More than a few decades, and they just really haven't.
This country's taken a big step back, haven't we? Like for a while, it was, hey, we're going to go to the moon. We did that. We're going to build rockets. We're going to do that. Yeah. Now we're out here telling people, please don't eat Tide Pods. Yep. Like we've really taken the wrong turn somewhere.
Oreo is collaborating with celebrities for a few new flavors. Have you heard about this? Selena Gomez is partnering with Oreo to create a horchata-inspired cookie.
Horchata.
Am I saying, what is it?
Allison, you seem to...
No, I believe you're right. It's just the way you were so...
I don't think you're supposed to accent the whore so much.
Yeah.
I don't know what horchata. I don't know what
horchata.
It's like a rice milk drink. It's with cinnamon.
Oh, okay. Horchata.
So it's probably cinnamon-y.
Selena Gomez partnering with Oreo to create horchata cookies. Post Malone is partnering with Oreo to create a salted caramel and shortbread cream cookie. Are you okay with all of this?
I am okay with this, and after a text exchange with our pal Jeff Boggs, I believe he's okay with this.
Yeah.
We were talking about some of the celebrities we think should be added to this list here. Hunter Biden, crack glazed Oreos. I think there'd be a big market for those. From Jeff, New York Knicks Oreos that induce choking.
Oh, man.
New York Knicks endorsed Oreos that induce choking. For Nigel, beer and Jack Daniel Oreos.
I wouldn't combine beer and Jack. I do either or.
Since when? I saw you at our event the other night combining both of those things very nicely.
I never had beer. I just had Jack.
Chris Christie's pork layered Oreos. And as Jeff will point out, that's funny because he's fat.
Yeah, I understand the
correlation. If you really want to go next level, if you want to strike while the marketing iron is hot,
okay.
P. Diddy baby oil dipped Oreos.
Oh.
So those are the next round of
that was
celebrity endorsed Oreos that I think could make their way to the market.
That was Boggs' idea. Oil dipped Oreos.
Yes. So you're okay with horchata.
Yeah.
We really got to accent
Very
the whore.
okay, yeah.
But the oil's where we draw the line.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, Rob Kendall. He is somebody that has been critical of Jim Irsay in the past. We'll see if he has softened up a little bit in light of the recent passing of the longtime Colts owner. And we'll also talk a little bit of other things as well. But it's never short of energy when the man with the biggest little man syndrome in the world walks in studio. Rob Kendall, Off the Rails, coming up right after we break down and have a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A plane hits a house and 2 people are dead. You might be getting some sprinkles in the north part of the Indianapolis metro. 40% chance for rain this afternoon. On Monument Circle, it's 56. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. Gernal Scott on the San Diego plane crash.
What's known about the private jet is that it flew out of Teterboro, New Jersey, and refueled in Wichita, Kansas, prior to the crash in a San Diego military housing area. The aircraft could seat up to 10 people. Assistant Fire Chief Dan Eddy said it's not certain if the confirmed deaths were on the ground or the plane.
We still have to identify who we have on the fatalities right now. But on the plane itself, that's what we'll do. That's why NTSB is here, working with other federal agencies to identify who's on the plane.
Multiple homes and cars were also damaged aside from the house the plane directly hit. In addition to the NTSB, the FAA is also part of this investigation. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
You could be asked to pay more tolls on Indiana highways, but that could take a while. Jeanette Cruz explains why.
The Braun administration is still considering the idea of new tolling options as gas tax revenue, which will fund road maintenance. This comes as the state faces an annual shortfall of $600 to $800 million just to maintain current roads. While the governor has authority to implement tolls, new federal waivers are now needed for facilities within 75 miles of existing toll roads. Officials say even with federal approval, it could take 4 to 5 years before any new tolls are actually in place. Jeanette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The man accused of trying to kill President Trump at a Florida golf club was trying to get some of the charges dropped against him. Fox's Jill Nato reports that didn't work.
Ryan Ruth's lawyers were trying to get 2 gun charges against him dismissed. One of those counts was a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition. The other, possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. His lawyers said those counts violated his Second Amendment rights. But Ruth has a previous felony conviction for illegally possessing dynamite. So U.S. District Court Judge Eileen Cannon denied the motion to dismiss. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Afternoon traffic on 93 WIBC with Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, we have a traffic hazard on the south side going southbound 65 before 465. Right lane shut down. Inbound 65 delayed 8 minutes. MLK to the north split. Eastbound 75-minute delay Harding into the south split. Inbound 69 stop and go before 106th Street down to 82nd. And southbound Keystone Parkway stop and go traffic 126th Street to 465. Northwest side northbound 465 slow after 79 to 865. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMB. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few showers hang around to early tonight with lows in the mid-40s. Patchy fog possible early Friday morning, but then we'll launch to a partly cloudy and warmer day for Carb Day with highs in the mid-60s and a slight breeze. I'm Wish TV Star Trek 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall.
Noise pollution.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Also joining us live in studio, Rob Kendall from the #1 Kendall and Casey show, here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
Great. Thanks as always to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
We've got a lot of stuff to get to. But first, I just want to say that, like, I love that you pulled a Nigel last night and went to bed before the end of the Pacer game, game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. You went. What time did you exit the premises of your father's house to
Well, let me set this up, right? So I don't have cable. I'm very cheap, so I don't have the cable. So I have to walk over to my dad's house to watch anything on cable, and they got down 14. And
it was like 2 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left, yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this game's over. I'm going to go ahead and go home. And I laid down, and then, I don't know, 15 minutes later or whatever, my dad texts me. He's like, hey, they're down 2 with 22 seconds to go. I'm like, no way. And I was like, well, they'll probably miss the shot at the end. I'm not going to walk all the way back over to my dad's house and watch the end of this game. And then he texts me. He's like, 3-ball. I was like, no. And then he's like, oh, sorry, his foot was on the line. 2-ball, overtime. So then I got to make the choice. Do I walk all the way back over there again? And
all the way over, he's your neighbor.
Well, yeah. It's a long walk.
I've seen where you live. It's right next door.
Making it sound like you're doing the Oregon Trail to get to your dad's house.
And then I'm like, well, I'm already half asleep anyway. They'll probably lose the game. It'll just be a big, giant waste of time. I'll just lay down. And then he texts me. They won. Like, no way.
Possibly one of the greatest Pacer games of all time.
Well, and here's the other thing. When Reggie scored all those points at the end of the game, and it was at 95, right?
Yeah, sure.
We were in the car. I remember listening to this. This is how long Mark Boyle has been doing Pacer basketball. I remember Mark Boyle calling that game. We were in the car going to look at other cars, and my parents were going to buy a new car. And we're looking at all these other cars. Get out of the car. They're down, whatever. 20 seconds to go in the game. Okay, this game's over. Get back in the car. And Mark Boyle, boy, if you missed the end, what an exciting finish. What the hell just happened here? So the 2 most amazing finishes in Pacer history, I have missed the end of it.
So what we need to do here is to make sure that Rob Kendall never watches Pacers at Knicks in the Garden ever again.
Boy, what a feeling last night, though. Even just watching most of that game, it brought back so many memories. I don't know for you guys, right?
Sure. I was 18. I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah, but I mean, just the feeling of Hicks versus Knicks. I remember those series, and that Oregon still sounds the same as the Pacers bring the ball across the half-court line for the Knicks to play defense. It was just, man, it was awesome.
I notice different things as I get older, because like Nigel, I was around 16, 17 years old when Reggie did the 8 points, 9 seconds trick. But now, like, I was in the hotel room in Nashville yesterday, and we're watching the coverage on ESPN, right? And it's nothing but New York, right? You've got all these pro-Nick reporters, and they're talking to John Starks, and they're talking to Patrick Ewing. They're doing everything but laying them down, giving them the Robert Kraft treatment. They didn't mention anything at all about the Indiana Pacers, who, oh, by the way, have beaten the Knicks in Game 7 in the Garden, the last 2 Game 7s they've had.
And, of course, I have the 125-1 bet that I made before the All-Star break. I got the Pacers at 125-1 to win it all. So,
wow.
We're 7 wins to go, boys.
7 wins away.
Man,
You know how many Arby's that Arby's lunches the 125-1 will buy?
Was this a $1 bet?
$1 bet.
Okay.
Dear Lord.
The buyout, you'll be proud of me though, Hammer. I looked at the buyout before the series started, and it was like $12. And I said, I could take the guaranteed $12. But then, what if they win it all? Because they could.
They could. But then again, that doesn't even buy you an Arby's sandwich right now, right?
Oh, you've never seen the coupons, have you?
Yeah.
Do you know who my wife is?
Crazy coupon lady.
Yeah. Talk to me more about coupons, Rob. I've got crap sitting around my house that probably expired back in '94, but we got a deal on it.
It was such a weird range of emotion, though, last night, because before the game started, that's when the news broke that Colts owner Jim Irsay had passed away at the age of 65. And did you guys think it was weird? I kept on waiting for them to mention that during the broadcast, and I never heard word one, even halftime, being that it was Indiana and the Pacers that were playing. Is that weird that the announcers or nobody made nary a mention of that during the game?
I think on TNT, I get it.
Okay,
Had it been on ESPN, which is a sports channel, probably. And Irsay's last tweet was about the Pacers.
His very last tweet, yes.
So maybe that was worth a mention or something, but...
Rob, what do you think? Irsay leaving a legacy? behind here in the city?
You know, we got into this day on the show, and we talk about people in death as we did in life. And I think with Irsay, you certainly mentioned he was very philanthropic with his money. He helped a lot of people that were in need, people with disabilities, paid for people's college. There's no doubt about that he was a very kind, generous person.
It's just good to
money.
the fans.
Yeah,
he's just good to his fans.
Very personable. But I don't think you can talk about the legacy without talking of the fact that there is a $1 billion plus monstrosity down the street from us that is paid for, and is the biggest portion of his wealth came from him essentially strong-arming the city and state into tax increases on us, poor and middle class people, to create that wealth for him. I don't think you can tell that story without saying that. I think it's all part of when a public figure dies. You talk about the things that are good and things that are bad, and a lot of his wealth that he handed out to other people originated from us.
But this isn't just a Jim Irsay thing. Like, this is kind of what sports owners do for the most part.
It is. I'm not saying he's unique in that, and by his standard, it was a good business deal. He clearly got a great deal.
Yeah, but the city got value out of it, too.
It's been a financial dumpster fire.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we still owe hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, you can make the case. There are people who will say, well, you can't put a price tag on the exposure of having a Super Bowl.
I guess that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Like the Final Fours and the WrestleManias and all that kind of stuff that come with it.
But my point is, it was funded
Super Bowl.
He was a multi-billionaire who funded his biggest wealth, the creation of wealth for him, on the backs of regular people, which will go on, and now his family will get that forever and ever. And the Colts Stadium deal was so egregious. And I'm not blaming him. He got a great deal for himself. But the Colts Stadium deal was so egregious, it changed how stadium financing has gone going forward. If you look at what the Chiefs are dealing with right now, if you look at what the Bears are dealing with right now, if you look at these other states in the wake of Indianapolis, they've been markedly different, and the public has really turned against these public stadium financing because of you've got $1 billion+ entity that was given to a billionaire, paid for by other people. All that being said, he certainly had a profound impact on the city of Indianapolis. He certainly oversaw the Colts going from laughingstock to, at one point, one of the premier organizations in the National Football League, along with the Patriots. That's undeniable, absolutely undeniable.
When you look at the growth of the city of Indianapolis, right? I think you go back to like Mayor Hudnut and that era right there, where Jim's old man was technically still the owner. But where do we rank Jim Irsay on the most important people in the city of Indianapolis to grow this city from this sleepy little naptown Midwest to a place where conventions come all the time? The skyline's been changed. You're hosting Super Bowls. You're hosting Final Fours. You're hosting WrestleManias, the Firefighters Convention. All of that comes here. I think a part of that is because of what Jim Irsay has been able to build here with the Colts and the stadium, financing aside, changing the skyline of Indianapolis.
Well, and this is true in business or politics or anything. A lot of it's luck, right? So if he doesn't have the number one pick and draft Peyton Manning, right? Now, they did that, right? There are a lot of people who wanted Ryan Leaf. They took the right guy. But let's face it, the Colts were built, and that's why he's got the statue out front. They were built on the backs of Peyton Manning, which elevated the Indianapolis Colts. Now, he hired Tony Dungy, which was a great move. All of those things, right? But let's face it, Peyton Manning was the straw that stirred the drink of those Colts, the Colts teams. But he certainly is in that equation because he was, like I said, true in politics, true in business, true in everything. Good is good, whether it's lucky good or I knew what I was doing good or whatever. He was the guy calling the shots and the National Football League obviously elevated immensely. He became owner of the Colts at the time where the National Football League was surpassing Major League Baseball as America's favorite sport, and the growth of that league has played a big role in it as well.
And how much, Nigel, do you think his personality played into it, too? Because you mentioned earlier, he was a different type of owner, right? Like, most NFL owners aren't doing wacky contests on Twitter.
Right.
Or
he was a fan favorite.
Touring around the country, playing with Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
He was a character. And the NFL... Now, I think this is going to change as they get these equity firms and stuff. They've opened up ownership rules or partial ownership rules. But the NFL has really been a largely closed-door, tight suit sort of society, and he was kind of one of the few that stood out in that. Absolutely.
Can you come back for one more segment?
Just because you're wearing that beautiful Pacers ensemble today, since I missed the game last night.
Yeah, are you allowed to watch game 2 or Friday night after Carb Day? Are you going to be allowed to watch it since you pulled a Nigel and fell asleep?
Can I tell you when we come back a Carb Day story that my wife had for me yesterday?
Love it.
You guys will love this.
Yeah, okay. We'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You may not have 1,000 horsepower, but you're always racing, whether it's to work, to pick something up, or drop someone off. So go the distance, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Shop any of Hubler's 13 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 2,000 vehicles. Chevys, Fords, Toyotas, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're racing to, go the distance, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Carb Day starts at Just Add Water Boats on South Franklin. We're going to be there from 6 to 9 a.m. Check out the huge selection of new and used boats and wave runners, snacks and drinks, plus accessory giveaways, including tubes and life jackets. Join us at Just Add Water Boats this Friday at 6 a.m. as we kick off Carb Day.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage. Go to rapidradios.com and you'll get up to 60% off free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO for an additional 5% off.
Heat and cool your man cave, attic, garage, or bonus room without adding ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits.
To find out more, just go to absolutecomfort.org.
Big stories locally, big moves in Washington. WIBC.com keeps you updated throughout the day with all the news that matters, plus traffic, weather, and more on your phone, your laptop, wherever you are. It's news when you need it.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer inbound 69, 106th Street down to 82nd, a 6-minute delay. Eastbound 465, stop and go from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Northwest side, northbound 465, slow on the ramp to I-65, then stop and go traffic continuing up to 71st. Again, that's northbound 465, where the delay is 2 northbound 65. Eastbound at 70, delayed 4 minutes from Harding into the South Split. And inbound 65, stop-and-go traffic at MLK to the North Split for a 7-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. Remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
57 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Back with Rob Kendall going off the rails. This show will be live tomorrow from Carb Day. Are you guys... Did I hear something about you're going to Carb Day tomorrow, or are you after the show, or what?
We're not allowed to go anywhere, Nigel. You guys and cats get all the fun.
But you guys,
the secret is you got to complain on air for 7 years. That's how you get to go to Carb Day.
But you get off the air at noon. I mean, are you going after that, or was that your wife?
No, my wife is going to Carb Day. Her work has some sort of event at Carb Day, and so she texts me yesterday, and she's like, "Is Bret Michaels a wrestler?"
Oh, no.
And I stare at it, and I'm trying to process what she's thinking.
Long-time Poison frontman Bret Michaels.
Friend of the show, right?
Yes,
friend of the Hammer Nigel show. And I'm trying to think, okay, why would she think that? And then it dawns on me, I've watched so much old wrestling that she has taken Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and put them into one person. And I said, no, honey, he's the lead singer of Poison.
Bret the Hitman Michaels.
Yeah. And I said, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart are wrestlers. And she goes, oh, that explains. I said, so what, you thought there was going to be a wrestling match as the main event at Carb Day? She goes, well, no, I thought he was like The Rock. You know how The Rock is like an actor, but he's also a wrestler? I thought maybe this guy was a wrestler, but he was also a singer.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
I get it.
I totally get that.
I understand now.
And then I tried to explain to her about Poison, and I think she's just going for the food and booze. So I think
she's going to be there.
Oh, she'll be there. Yeah.
We'll tell her to come by Garage 23, which is the area that we're going to be at tomorrow night, the Hensley Legal Group Command Center. We're going to have the celebrity beer bong out. Maybe Gabrielle can take part.
Maybe Gabrielle Kendall. By the way, the new news chick did awesome last week on Celebrity Beer Bong.
I'm so sorry I missed that. In more ways than one that I could tell you.
Much like Jim Irsay, she became a fan favorite last week. Stories from, oh my goodness, her childhood. Jonette Cruz, our news reporter, news anchor, getting loose in Tijuana at 14, doing grown-up stuff in Tijuana, drinking tequila.
I saw the still photos of it before the audio, and I just went, huh?
Well, that's just fine.
So is your wife staying for the concert? Is that why she's going?
Yeah, I'm a single parent on Carb Day.
What time is she getting there? I think my wife's getting there like 9 o'clock in the morning.
All of her wives are going to be in Bret Michaels' tour bus by 7 p.m. tomorrow night, right?
The Cuban lady came out without her top on.
It is Carb Day.
My parents are coming over to watch Livy, and then once I get off, I'm going home. So I don't know. She's coming home at some point, I assume. She's leaving at 8. I was told leaving at 8, and she said, don't wait up for me.
All contestants on this year's Rock of Love at Carb Day happening in the parking lot.
Hey, that's Nigel's wife.
My God, that's Nigel walking out of there. Doesn't have pants on. That's weird.
I'm excited for you guys to have that Carb Day show tomorrow. You guys deserve it. Nobody loves racing more than you guys. Nobody is more Hoosier through and through than you guys. And I love, finally, after 7 years of bitching and moaning, they're going to let you go to Carb Day.
That's all it took. 7 years of them saying, fine, here, just go and leave us alone. It's almost like Happy Gilmore putting the fries on his car when the crazy lady's hanging on. Here, just leave us alone. What's coming up with the big show tomorrow?
Man, I don't know. Casey does the template. I think we're going to do something about the housing market could be in trouble. I think we're doing something about people cutting their you only live once spending. It'll be a great time. I'll yell about a bunch of things.
It's race weekend.
Yeah, I'll yell about a bunch of things. It'll be fine. The usual show.
Special thanks to
Garage Doors of Indianapolis. You guys are the best.
He's off the rails. That's Rob Kendall. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, yeah. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Our house is filled with products from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, from outdoor furniture to couches to recliners to Tempur-Pedic mattresses. And right now, it's Thompson's tariff-free Made in the USA sale. Save up to 50% on Lazy Boys and Smith Brothers. How about another $800 on mattresses? And we guarantee you the lowest price on Berlin Gardens and Hollywood outdoor furniture. Up to 4 years interest-free financing and extra discounts for cash and free delivery. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
These guys take care of us, so take care of these guys. If you need a new mattress, if you need a new love seat, this is the place. ThompsonFurniture.net, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct, and May is officially the kickoff to home improvement season. And right now, during their home improvement season sale, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. Yes, half off. You heard right. You can upgrade your home with beautiful, energy-efficient windows for half the cost. But it gets even better. For a limited time, you'll get no interest and no payments for 12 months. That's a whole year to enjoy your new windows before you pay a single cent. And here's the cherry on top. You'll receive a free entry door with your window purchase. Now, some restrictions may apply, so to get all the information and schedule your free in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today at 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. Universal Windows Direct's home improvement season sale. Half off your windows, no interest, no payments for 12 months. 317-659-7574. Tell them Rob sent you.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfax from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. You know, a lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah.
Tire Discounters. And your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it. Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Prepare for the summer heat with energy-efficient windows from Window Nation. Window Nation windows are built to keep your house cool during the hot summer days, and Window Nation has some of the best energy-efficient windows